Directed kick, however, and Jeff Rains takes the mark. Rains into the centre, has Merritt loose. He's got players running past. This is Kennedy. From 70 metres, he goes short, and the kick is a good one. Mark Roberts marks just outside 50. So the Bears doing all the attacking as Roberts goes with a right foot drop punt deep in towards full forward. Hardy waits at the back, and it's just sockered over the line for one rushed behind to the Brisbane Bears, and certainly a little bit of feeling.
Interesting matchup down on the forward line for North Melbourne. Jamie Stevenson, the big fellow, on John Gastev. So I wonder how long it is before the Bears pick that one up.
And Dean McRae also on Bernie Harris. That's a bit of a mismatch in size as the kick comes towards Hardy. Oh, Schwass was the flyer. Here's Hardy giving it across old little Andrew Cracker in after it. He's a little terrier, as all the Cracker brothers are. And it'll be a free kick going North Melbourne's way. Let's see who is the recipient. And it looks like Larkin at half-back, Matthew Larkin, around about the centre half-back area. The breeze tonight blowing across the ground, probably slightly favouring the Bears' end. It's fisted away towards the centre. Here's Cracker in after it. That was Hepburn, a hurry kick towards the centre of the ground. That was Reynolson to Kennedy. Gastev from half-back. John Gastev has been in great form in recent weeks. Beautiful kick to Richardson. Over to Mark Roberts. Roberts trying to centre the ball to half forward. That was good play by the big man. Over to Hardy at the back of the pack. He picks it up, kicks it, goal. Brad Hardy has missed. So he's second behind in the first few minutes of play. So the Bears move on to 1-3. North Melbourne yet to score.
The Bears winning the toss, but only a very light breeze virtually blowing across the ground. As Longmire again goes to the outer side. Good looking kick, thumped defensively towards the line. Will Rains keep it in? He's under plenty of pressure. A throw in to take place.
Well, it is a great night for football, Sandy. It's not too cold. It's beautiful, and you know, let's just hope that this is a forerunner for many more games up here in Queensland at night.
Hepburn about to scoot off, has the free kick. He'll go back and take it, and now play on. No one on the mark, so he's able to take a little bit of advantage. Kicks up over the centre. Fairley goes over the top and infringes in trying to tap the ball on, and once again it'll be Merritt to take the free kick. Roger Merritt, defensive side of centre, goes up towards half forward. Longmire buffeted out of it. O'Brien could have been held. Law comes through for North, kicks it wide down towards the centre wing area. It'll beat players over the line as Michael Martin makes a late dash, can't get there.
Don, where do you think Michael Martin would be playing?
Well, he has had a number of jobs. He picked up Steins a couple of weeks ago and played in the ruck. He's a very mobile player, and we'll try and pick that one up, Peter.
Well, there's Rodney Eade trying to get a quick kick. We're not sure where Martin's playing. Normally he plays at full-back or centre-half-back. He's right up towards centre wing at the moment. Here's Peter German. Hasn't had a great year by his standards. He's gone wide to Ramiro. Ramiro straight up in the air towards half-forward. Fairley was the fly. Here's Matthew Larkin. This big ground will suit him with his skills. Larkin to half-forward. Crocker sets himself, punched away by Lester Smith. Here's Scotty McIver. Hand pass out to Eade. Eade a quick kick towards the centre of the ground. The high flyers are there. Dean McRae waits at the bottom. The advantage rule is played as McRae brings it back towards half forward. It's a mark to Crocker, who kicked 9 goals in the reserves last week. Now he's got a loose man in Fairley. Fairley runs across. Can he get there? A little bit slow moving in Fairley. Hand pass comes back to Schwass, has a touch of the fumbles, and after it again though, Wayne Schwass. Half forward for North Melbourne. The umpire said a push in the back. It will go North Melbourne's way.
Lucky to get away with that, Wayne Schwass. Fumbled initially.
He will have to kick from approximately 52 metres. A slight breeze going from screen left to right, so he'll have to kick to that left-hand goal post. He kicks from the 50-metre line. A nice-looking drop punt. Will it clear the pack? I don't think so. It was touched just on the line. First quarter, North Melbourne are behind. They trail the Bears. The Bears on 1-3, a total of 9 to North Melbourne on 1 behind with 19.5 minutes of play left in this first quarter. Brenton Phillips warming up, about to come on.
As the ball is on the outer side on centre wing. Under pressure was Jason Love. Couldn't get an effective kick away. Reynolson carrying on from where he left off last week. Looks for Brad Hardy up on centre wing, close to the boundary line. He's buffeted over, and so a throw-in.
Peter, you asked about Michael Martin. He seems to be picking up Jeff Rains. Now, whether he's playing on the half-forward flank, Rains looks as if he's playing half-back, so that's an interesting move.
Throw in on centre wing.
And Richardson about to come off for the Bears. Phillips on.
Hardy, clever soccer forward for Williams. Traps it inside the boundary line, kicks up towards full forward. Oh, great attempt to mark by Roberts. Couldn't quite complete it, however. Now a chance for North to run it out. The kick comes from McRae. Oh, it's very wide. Brenton Phillips has just come onto the ground. With him is Wayne Schwass. And it beats players over the line.
Mike Richardson not too happy when he came off the ground, glaring at the coach's box.
And spending considerable time on the phone. Roberts taps it in towards the forward zone once again for the Bears. Buckley gets the hand pass out. Bain misses. And North Melbourne should be able to clear through John McCarthy. Over the centre, McCarthy's kick goes. It just about clean bowls them all. At the back is Lester Smith, and he does well. Rod Lester Smith, a long kick back up towards the half-forward line once again. Two North Melbourne players flying. It comes away through hand pass, eventually from Law to German. Peter German's floating kick in the vicinity of Fairley. Couldn't hold it. Gaslev burst his way through it. In towards the centre, the mark taken by Williams. So Mark Williams, a look up forward once again. O'Brien will no doubt be a focal point tonight because he has virtually filled the shoes of Warwick Kappa in recent times as the ball is with Fairley on centre wing.
That was Dean McRae with that long clearing kick out of defence. A good mark taken by Michael Martin. Over to Larkin. Andrew Cracker over the top. This is Crocker. A further hand pass into the goal square. Goal to Bryce.
Well, that then all started because of the mismatch in height. Michael Martin was behind Jeff Rains, and because he was just too big, he took the mark from behind over Rains and then set it up with a handball, and there it is, setting up it again across to Larkin with a series of handballs. Cracker, and this was good play to North Melbourne to draw their Brisbane Bears opponents, and finishing off with Paul Bryce, North Melbourne's first, coming from the boot of Paul Bryce.
2 points the difference. The Brisbane Bears lead. Cracker again. Over it goes to Longmire. Towards full forward, it's fisted away. Gastev. Further afield, he went to Reddleson to centre wing. Oh, strong tackle on O'Keefe allows Matthew Larkin to take the ball. He's getting plenty of touches. Beautiful low trajectory kick. Great play that. Top lead by Bryce, and what a magnificent kick by Larkin. Bryce will kick from 50 metres. He is a pretty dynamic player, Paul Bryce, when he's on fire. Right on the 50-metre line. Won't quite make the distance as he sets it up to the pocket. Lester Smith was the flyer. And off hands and over the line, deep in that forward pocket, North Melbourne's forward zone.
Paul Feltham running Mark Micken off the bench. Just trying to ease the big man into a bit of form. He's been out of touch of late. Hepburn couldn't take the mark, but does well, plays on strongly. Gets the handball away, and now a chance for the Roos through McRae to go down towards the forward line. The mark is taken, and all of a sudden, North Melbourne steadying, and Bryce will have another shot at goal.
It's an interesting match, Zanotti on Bryce, because they believed a few weeks ago that Zanotti could only play on a bigger fellow. He lacks a little bit of concentration on a faster moving fellow, but already he's been caught out, lack of height. Bryce, being the taller, has taken some good marks.
So Paul Bryce, 35 metres out, directly in front, has kicked North's only goal to date, and looking for number 2. Pretty good looking kick. There is number 2 to North Melbourne.
Well, he's proving a bit of a focal point up there, Bryce. He's had 2 leads at the ball and taken 2 marks, and he was on the end of the handball, which finished up with his first goal and North Melbourne's first. And there he is, Zanotti caught behind. And as I mentioned, you can see there on the camera that just the mismatch in height. Zanotti made his name as a half-back, now playing at the full-back position.
North Melbourne lead by 4 points, and Zanotti not strong overhead. Bryce will certainly test him out. There's Hepburn tapping it away straight to Rodney Eade. towards half forward, almost to mark the North Melbourne. There's McRae trying to get away with the ball, but the umpire, Rowan Saws. Now, is that a free kick? No.
Now, Michael Martin, Peter, sorry to cut across, is on the wing, it looks as if, on Rodney Eade. And going back to the half-back line is Jason Love, who's now Jeff Rain's opponent. So interesting moves by the North Melbourne team.
And Love normally a goal kicker. Here's a chance for Brenton Phillips from 30 metres directly in front. And he's popped it through and the Bears now lead.
Well, this is becoming a very, very entertaining game. The scores early in this first quarter. Only 4 points of difference, and here's Brenton Phillips. Now, coming from that good knock-ruck on play, despite the opposition there, Brenton Phillips, who came off the interchange bench, had a good start to the season, but injury halfway through stopped his good form, and he's been struggling a little bit since then, but nevertheless started very, very well early on.
Back in the centre once again. Good start to this game as Fairley gets the hand pass away to Schwash. His kick goes down towards half forward. Rains couldn't trap it on the half volley. Gastev now left it. May finish up with a free kick for a push.
Bad kick by Schwash then, Sandy.
Yep. Gastev from half back. Kicks towards centre wing. Micken a little too far underneath the ball. McCarthy traps it well. Oh, twists out of trouble. Then gets the hand pass over the top to Larkin. He's going to be met, but gets it inside. McIver is there, however, for the Bears. Takes it out to Gastev. Gets past Cracker. Now a chance for Bain. Bain up towards the half-forward line. The kick is a good one. It's marked by Phillips. His kick, however, is not as good. Oh, steaming through came Merritt. He was solidly met by Law. It's picked up by Williams. It's shot at goal. Let's go. It's home.
And what terrific play there by Roger Merritt. Let's hope he's all right, because, boy, did he take them on then. He was running at full steam. And although he didn't get the ball, he certainly did upset the opposition coming the other way. And watch this on replay. Here he is. He's tucked that under the wing, dipped the shoulder and kept going. What a terrific passage of play. He was the instigator. Mark Williams, the finisher off.
Great stuff.
Great play. Top play by Merritt. Well, this is a great game of football at the moment. The Bears lead by 8 behinds. Crashing his way through is Jamie Stevenson. This is Gastev over the back. I think we're in for a good game of football. Lester Smith to Kennedy. It's fast and furious. Kennedy kicked to no man's land. Well, eventually Bernie Harris got there on time. Over to Rodney Eade. Cleverly gets it back to O'Keefe. Over to Micken. The captain goes for home. Right up towards the forward pocket. John McCarthy, the high flyer, heads for the boundary line.
And that was a good kick then too by McCarthy, because there was nothing down forward. Although Squash was running onto the ball, he just wasn't there. And a good kick for touch.
Half forward for the Bears. Here's a chance for David Bain, who's been down in recent weeks. Brings it up in front of the Bears' goal. Pressure on North Melbourne. Here's Bernie Harris with a kick over his shoulder. Which way will it bounce? Well, actually it was offline and through for a behind, but the pressure on North. The Bears looking good. They've moved on to 3-3. Paul Feltham, plenty of instructions early in the game. The Roos on 2-1-13, so the difference 9 points in favour of the Brisbane Bears. There's Hardy, a vital player in the result of this game tonight.
Longmire to the outer side once again. The Bears taking it right up to North at the moment as Williams got the hand pass away towards Eade. He can't control it. It goes over the line. And a little bit of trivia, Don, that you possibly knew, but Eade, who has played now the most number of VFL games by any Tasmanian. And who did he beat, Don?
No, I'll scratch what few hairs I've got on my head, Sandy, and think for a little while.
Okay, then. As we get back to the action, and Peter German. He's at half-back, German, getting North out of the danger zone for the moment. Kicks to a congested centre wing area. Micken is there with a big fist. He gets it down to Eade. The Bears into attack again. Eade with a short little left foot chip. Wasn't a good kick on that occasion, and Longmire came out and was able to take the mark. Plays on, back to German, this time onto the right boot, again towards centre wing. No mark taken, close to the boundary line. An opportunity there for Roberts, but he loses out to Fairley. Fairley goes up towards the half-forward line, and a good mark taken by Crocker. Crocker now descend north deep into attack. He'll be looking for Bryce. With him is Zanotti. It's Zanotti who gets the fist away, but it's all North Melbourne. The hand pass is elusive. Bryce gets claimed, gets the hand pass wide. It comes now to McIver. It was shot across to him by Kennedy, and McIver goes wide to the outer side, only again to see German intercept. This time he goes in towards the pocket and finds his mark. The mark is taken by Jose Romero. High, centering the ball. A chance for the Bears to clear through Gastev. The kick is a good one, and the mark is taken by Michael Gibson. Gibson in towards the centre. They got players running everywhere. Bain, however, gets a bad bounce. Larkin goes back to Schwass. He is solidly met. There's some feeling in this game. Schwass is still on the ground. The hand pass comes out to Larkin. It came from McCarthy. Larkin steadies, goes up towards full forward once again. Over the back, Zanotti. With him is Fairley. Zanotti gets beat the ball, and it goes over the boundary line.
He's hurt Wayne Schwass. He was hit very, very hard. I think it was by Gibson. And he is in the hands of the trainers. There he is. And he was hit very, very hard. Hip and shoulder stuff off the ball. That's Mark Roberts back towards the half-back line. And this is a tough game. They're tearing in after the ball. Wayne Schwass seems to be all right now. I think he was winded slightly.
And incidentally for Don, Pete, the answer to that trivia question is Percy Jones.
Well, Percy would love to get a mention, I would think. There is O'Keefe with the hand pass. It's all North Melbourne. Buckley popped it high in the head. Advantage played. Schwass back in the action. Hand pass across to Peter German. German from 50. Straightens up, shoots for goal. Some shepherding going on. Fisted through, though, by the Bears for a behind to North Melbourne.
It was interesting in that build-up there. The man that got Wayne Schwass earlier, Michael Gibson, also tried again. Maybe he's concentrating a little bit too much on the man. Okay, you've got one victim. Now you've got to go after the ball.
Yeah, well, you'd know all about that, Don. As the kick comes towards the half-back line, this is Micken taking a mark. Hasn't been in good form in recent weeks. Has suffered from a lot of injuries this year, though, Mark Micken. There's Rains playing in his 250th game. The ball is booted off the ground. Now, that's out of bounds on the full.
Yep.
So it's a free kick to Jeffrey Rains, one of the great players of league football over a number of years. One of the best kicks in the game as well. And that's no exception as he brings it to half forward. The high flies are there. Merritt. Geez, a go on Merritt. And he gets on with the game and kicks it wide. He's got a man leading. It's Hardy. And is that 50? I don't think so.
Would have been at the start of the season, Peter, but they've relaxed that decision.
Well, there's Brad Hardy, will kick from right on the 50-metre line. He's normally a pretty good kick for goal. He's kicked 2 behinds tonight. And a chance to put the Brisbane Bears 14 points in front if he kicks this goal. From right on the 50-metre line, in fact, just over. That's a shocking kick. That one right towards the pocket. The high flyers are there. Micken was one of them. Kicked off the ground by Bernie Harris. Don't kick it. He's put that through. He's kicked it as a great goal.
Well, that was a great goal by the little fellow. A half-forward, Bernie Harris. A real question mark about his endurance. But the last couple of weeks, he's really put his best in for the Brisbane Bears. And here's this high ball, a shocking ball by Brad Hardy, hooking it. Maybe the North Melbourne guys could have gone a little harder at that ball, but he was the opportunist, Bernie Harris, and I don't think he could do that again. But nonetheless, they all count.
Back in the middle, and it's 14 points the difference. Bain under pressure from Cracker, loses it, picked up by Buckley. A high kick to the half-forward line. Coming in from behind with the high fly was Little Mick Kennedy, but he couldn't take it. Medium-sized, possibly, if we're going to assess it. Zanotti at half-back now will clear. Short step pass, and he finds Micken. Plays on to Rains. Good football as Rains has a look up forward. Merritt is caught from behind. In front was Schwass, and he takes, not Schwass, McCarthy, and he takes a great grab. McCarthy's kick. These conditions will suit him tonight. He loves to fly. Rains again. Stabs it wide for Gastev. Running with the flight of the ball. It bounces favourably for him. Gastev has a bounce. Gets past the centre. Good shepherding by O'Keefe. Sees him clear. Looks for Merritt. Could have been free kick. He will be.
It was a good attempt by McCarthy then. He knew that Merritt was going to mark and he had to do something. He restrained him, gave away the free kick.
Plays on. Centering it across the ground. Cracker was there. Sock it off the ground. In towards full forward. Longmire is there and is quite content to run it over the line. So a throw.
And David O'Keefe doesn't look too good. He's hanging his right wing as he comes off the ground. That does not look good. Maybe he's dislocated his shoulder.
So that means Richardson is back on the ground now for the Brisbane Bears as Larkin spears a hand pass wide. It's taken by Dean McRae and he clears for North Melbourne. Out towards Jason Love on centre wing. Away goes Love, setting up the hand pass. Put German under a heap of pressure, however. Eade intercepts. Love tries to make amends as Eade soccers off the ground towards the boundary line. And it has the desired effect for Rodney Eade.
And David O'Keefe going up into the rooms. That must be fairly serious if he's going off the ground to get attention.
Particularly if it was to a wing. What is that, Don? The shoulder or what is it?
It's usually referred to the arm, Peter, or your limb, upper
There's
limb.
Bain across to Roberts. Here's David Bain going back in after it again. Andrew Cracker. Oh, good skills by little Cracker. Onto the left foot. Kicks like his brother Phil as he brings it towards halfway. That's a good, strong mark by Mark Roberts. Beautiful mark. Over it goes to Lester Smith. He's gone short. Centre of the ground. Brenton Phillips might go over to Richardson. No, elects to kick on the left. Up towards Cameron O'Brien. Fisted down to the ground. Here's David Bain. That was Bernie Harris up towards full forward. Merritt to Hardy. Great play, Roger Merritt. And Hardy slams it through for another one to the Bears.
Well, he has figured in 2 goals, Roger Merritt. That one that was kicked earlier by Mark Williams when he just threw the body in. And by just the mere fact of throwing the body in, set it up for Mark Williams. On that occasion, on hands and knees, and shoots it out quickly, -1 boot, across to Brad Hardy. And again, Merritt doing the work and initiating play. You don't get many pats on the back for that, but it is recognised by your teammates and people who know a little bit about football.
Back in the middle once again, and the Bears looking good at the moment. 5-4 to 2-2, but it's very early days as Micken wins the tap, but they can't take it out of the middle. Kick goes up towards Gastev. He's in front now. Shrugged 1-2 tackles, has a bounce, then gets his kick up towards the half-forward line. He's got a couple of options open here. Taken by Phillips from 50 metres. Brendan Phillips decides to centre the ball. Thought about having a shot, then decided to bring it back in towards half-forward. And it was marked there by Dean McRae to stop the attack momentarily. Back to McRae once again. He's on half-back. Spirals a punt kick, long, up towards half-forward. Fisted back into the middle. Larkin gets a bad bounce. It opens the door, however, for his teammate in Romero. Now a chance for Larkin. Beautiful step pass. Beautiful pass. Good lead. And Bryce will have a shot just inside 50.
Poetry in motion, Sandy.
There's the kick from Bryce. A long drop punt. Got the distance, but not the accuracy. Pulls it to the right.
He has got a kicking problem, hasn't he, Peter? That
typical
Paul
left
Bryce.
footer.
He
typical
hooks it.
Left footer.
Well, it's a bit like your golf shot. Hook. All left-handers seem to have it.
Well, it's amazing how often left footers hook it across their body. As we see Lester Smith bring it to half back. The marker's dropped out there. Here's a chance for Paul Bryce from 60 metres, setting it up for his forwards. Can someone take a mark? Crocker attempts it with the one hand, and the umpire in his first game, Ron Thompson, will come in and bounce.
Let's go down to the boundary line, Pete, and an injury report. Bill McDonald.
Thanks, Andy. Well, the news not so bad with David O'Keefe. He said he felt the shoulder go a bit forward, but after a fairly rigorous test out there by the Bears doctor, there's no damage at all to the joint, no dislocation, just a bit of bruising. He's sitting back on the bench now and probably will have the break till quarter time.
So his wing seems to have recovered.
And there's one happy person. There's the throw-in. Oh, good smother on the kick away from Roberts. Still sees the ball in that area. It comes back to the big man Roberts once again. And it's going to be a case of third time lucky. He'll get the free kick in the back pocket.
And the Bears doing really well in this first quarter. They've got the skill and they're really putting a lot of pressure on North Melbourne.
Zanotti now at half-back. Loves to have a run as one bounce goes up towards half-forward. The kick is a good one, and the mark is taken by Michael Gibson, who has certainly been keen to...
Swallowed a few of those angry pills, hasn't he?
There's the kick from Gibson. Up towards half-forward. Oh, great mark taken by O'Brien.
This man here could be an amazing player. Could be. I emphasise could be. Look at that. That is magnificent. He can do whatever he likes as far as his physical being is concerned. He's got tremendous athleticism, but can he concentrate and maintain his ability? Oh, it's terrific, Peter.
Cameron O'Brien now looking for his first goal. He makes no mistake.
That's his first goal. 2 goals, 2 last week, Cameron O'Brien, and he's been a real focal point up forward. In actual fact, that's his 30th goal for the season. He's kicked 17 or 18. And as I said, he does just lack a little bit in the concentration department, but boy, he's got a lot of ability. Formerly of Collingwood, and I suppose because of his inconsistency, that's why Collingwood did let him go. But what a great shape he has, good size, he can run, he can jump. And if he only puts his mind to it, he could be a great player.
Centre bounce once again. It's won by Micken down towards the half-forward line. In fact, it'll be McIver who sends them deep into attack once more. Over the head of Merritt it went. Williams is there to lend support. Now Hardy gets it across to Bain. Onto the left foot goes David Bain. Hooks it towards goal. There's another one.
Well, they can do no wrong at the moment, the Bears. As I said, it looked dangerous because of the way that they really were pressuring North Melbourne. That North Melbourne was starting to set up with a number of hurried hand passes, and that's always a sign when they're not finding their mark that you're under pressure. And the Bears have got a lot of skill and really delivering the ball well. And North Melbourne are making another change. Jamie Stevenson going to the fullback position and Longmire coming off. Also Clarkson on as well now.
As Law has it at half-back for North Melbourne. Goes down towards the half-forward line. No mark taken there by Kennedy, but there will be a free kick.
And that was unfortunate then for Ramiro because he was tripped by Kennedy initially and forced Ramiro into the back of Rains.
Beautiful kick by Jeff Rains. From one side of the square to the other, O'Brien was the high flyer, couldn't take it. Cracker goes through. Well done as Cracker gets it out wide. Good interception, however, by Richardson. Gets it across to Eade. He goes up towards Harris. He can't keep it in play, however, so another throw in on that outer side. There is the time remaining. It has been a good quarter for the Brisbane Bears and the North bench having a little bit to ponder. O'Brien does the ruck work on that occasion. No one able to get it clear. It eventually comes to Larkin, who gets it away to German. Peter German kicks it up towards half forward. The Roos would desperately love a goal before siren time, and they may just get the chance here. Very close to siren time. Alistair Clarkson centering it towards half forward. A big pack of flyers. Crocker was there. Couldn't complete the mark, however. The advantage is paid to Lester Smith. The Bears get out of trouble. Up towards centre wing he goes, and the mark is taken by Gibson. On the mark is Schwartz. Cracker runs across him. He gives it to Bain. David Bain now to put the Bears inside 50. A high kick, difficult one to grab. Waiting down is Hardy. But there's the siren. It's quarter time as Hardy's kick floats high into the air. And a fine first quarter by the Brisbane Bears sees them lead 7-4, 46. North Melbourne 2-3, 15.
For those who missed the early game tonight, we went their first time, 21 goals, 12, 138. Pretty goal goes all 14, 56.
Quarter time here at Carrara, and Brisbane leads 7-4, 46. North Melbourne 2-3, 15.
North Melbourne's Matthew Larkin has been blessed with almost unbelievable skills, and combined with the two Cracker brothers is a damaging force on the ball. This stocky utility has a low centre of gravity, which makes him difficult to unbalance, and his tremendous courage is a shining example for any player. He made his debut in 1984, and in only his second year won the club's Best and Fairest award. Being at such a young age, Larkin can only go from strength to strength.
Yes, 5 kicks and 5 hand passes for Matthew Larkin, but a great start to this game, Don.
Yes, and I can't help but be impressed with the way the Bears are really going about it. They're a very desperate team. They've got more players around where the ball's dropping, and that's always an indication that a side is doing well.
Let's go down to the boundary line. Here's Bill McDonald.
Thank you, Sandy. Well, as expected, Paul Feltham pretty happy with that Bears first quarter there, and pretty happy with the way they're running the ball out of defence, and also happy with their attack. But as Don just touched on there, North Melbourne, they're not backing up there enough in defence. They're not punching the ball enough in defence, and that was his main criticism. They want to get to the ball first in the centre. They're also losing out there. That was his big criticism.
OK, Bill, we're just about set for a start.
And Michael Martin looks as if he's gone into the centre now. He's picking up Brett and Phillips, so he's gone half forward, wing, and now in the centre. Maybe he could be ruck roving, Peter.
Well, he's been their best backman all year. I can't believe that.
Rowan Saws awaiting the signal.
He'll probably win their best and fairest to centre back.
Yes, he's had a fine season. Here we go, second quarter. 7-4 plays 2-3, 46 to 15, and no free kick given out of the centre. Play on is the call as McIver runs into the trouble in the form of Buckley, but he does get it to Phillips, who kicks up towards O'Brien. No mark is taken. It was a tough one for Stevenson, but he dropped it. Likewise, that time by Merritt. Now a chance for the Roos to run it clear. Larkin, a busy first quarter, and he carries it on in the second as that kick goes over the centre. He was looking for Crocker, taken out of it by Lester Smith. Scouting the crumbs, a chance for the Bears to kick it wide towards centre wing. It came from Mark Roberts. Now Buckley gets it across to Bryce, back to Buckley again. Interesting to see if the Roos can steady in this quarter and come back in as Richardson tries to force his way through. There will be a free kick. It will go to his teammate Jeff Rains.
Rains in his 250th game. Lovely kick as usual. Has found Scotty McIver. Had a bad game last week against the Swans. That's rare for him as he brings it to half forward. Rodney Eade tries to keep it in play but can't. A great first quarter here by the Bears. Sees them leading 7-4, 46 to North Melbourne 2-3, 15. John Kennedy, a worried man at this stage because they didn't play well in that first quarter. Martin to German to Ramiro. He'll go over the top, back to German. Peter German, another hand pass. Finds Ian Fairley. Fairley sets it up for his forwards with a high ball towards full forward. Punched away by Gastev. There's Crocker finding Andrew Cracker. Oh, very quick hand pass. Back to Jason Love. Love has a shot at goal and puts it out of bounds on the full.
Hasn't he got quick hands, Andrew Cracker? That was quick stuff.
Well,
he's impressive, isn't he? Because he gets underneath the packs. And the other good thing about him, Peter, he's come up from the under-19s reserves and now he's playing senior football all in the 1 year. That's a terrific effort.
It is a great effort by young Andrew, and he's got those quick hands of his brothers, Jimmy and Phil, and what a pity they're not playing out there tonight to see the three brothers in the one side. Here's the kick from Rains towards half-back. Punched away by Bryce with good play. Here's Cracker. Look at that quickness. Beautiful play by Cracker. A quick kick towards full forward. Crocker, an open goal, hooks it back and slams it through.
Well, that was set up by little Andrew Cracker. We sung his praises earlier, and that time he showed the courage. He's across, isn't he, between his two brothers. He's got the running style of Jimmy, and he's got the kicking style of Phil. Now look at the way he runs in. He shuffles in like Jimmy, but he's got that quick left footer, and he's set it up there for Darren Crocker. And Crocker, who's been one of those unfortunate fellows, we mightn't see the best of him because of his injury problem.
Looked like being a champion, Don.
Well, he could still be, Peter.
So first blood to North Melbourne in this second quarter. Micken, however, wins it out of the centre. Only as far as McRae, who kicks it high to half forward. Lester Smith couldn't take it on the half volley, but recovers well. Then runs into Fairley. A great tackle by Fairley. North coming back into this game. Here's Clarkson on the outer side. Wide to Fairley, inside 50. He kicks in towards full forward. No mark is taken. Now the pressure on the Bears' defence. It was on North Melbourne in the first quarter. Back again to Clarkson. Kick smothered, however, for Clarkson. Close to the boundary line. And it'll be brought away by Kennedy.
Gee, that was
Kennedy
good stuff.
gets clear. Good shepherding sees him get his kick out towards the half-back flank. No one there to help Martin. Can he do it on his own? No, he gets tackled. His hand pass goes straight to McIver. He gets it across to Kennedy, who was looking for Bain. Now North Melbourne will come into play through Bryce. Bryce steadies it down with a hand pass to German. German then in turn goes across to Romero. Now a chance for Matthew Larkin, just outside 50. Beautiful looking kick once again in towards that forward zone. At the back is Rains, however, and with one bounce, he brings it away from the back pocket zone. Kicking long, looking for and finding Mike Richardson.
He was gone.
He plays on now. Quickly on to Lester Smith. Now down towards O'Brien, roaming that forward zone. O'Brien under pressure, gets claim, not before he gets the hand pass away. Coming to meet it in towards full forward is Williams, and he takes a good mark.
Stevenson's too slow for O'Brien. North Melbourne have to look at it, making a change there.
Well, they took Longmire off to put Stevenson on.
Williams not shooting for goal. He's centering it. He's looking for merit. Scouting was Hardy. So too Bernie Harris. It is with Hardy now. He backpedals just a little. Gibson kicks in towards full forward. No one at home, however, and the mark taken by Stevenson.
I think it was Pickering.
Pickering. Lamb Pickering is on the ground.
Well, there's Bryce towards half-back. The mark has been taken by John Gastev. And I think we're in for a very, very close game tonight. I think North, if they've got any pride, they'll come home hard. That's a good mark to McCarthy. A lot of strength over to Bryce. Bryce wide, but it's a poor kick by Paul Bryce, straight to Micken. You can't afford that in this standard of football. Phillips over the top. Here's Michael Martin, in my opinion, playing out of position. Bringing it wide and straight to Eade. Eade's gone for a little chip past the Bain. He's an intelligent player, Rodney Eade. That's why he's played 250 games.
They lack a little bit in the skill department, don't they, North Melbourne? The way that Martin came out there and just blasted away, that's old-type football,
He's a
Peter.
backman. He's a backman straight ahead. There's Bain shooting at goal. Will he make the distance?
Good
He
mark.
can't. That's a top mark by Bryce in front of the pack. And he really could be a very good player, Paul Bryce. He's got plenty of courage. He's a real goer.
Just got to concentrate a little bit more.
Oh, dangerous kick. Oh, that's very dangerous play, though. Over to Rodney Eade. Eade straightens up on the left foot. Was Hardy pushed in the back?
He was pushed in the back, Peter.
Well, the umpire didn't think so, and the point is paid. So,
take a brave man to award that free.
Well, the Bears have moved on to 7-4. 7-5, in fact, to North Melbourne 3-3 as the ball is brought back towards half-back. Now, how will the umpires see that? It's a free kick going the way of the Bears, and I think the recipient will be Michael Gibson. Oh, it's Roger Merritt, in fact. Merritt from 55 metres. Won't make the distance, but a chance. Now, O'Brien's made a quick lead on Stevenson. Now, the short one is on. Scotty McIver ducks back, and that's poor defensive play by North Melbourne.
It's been picked up by Ben Buckley, and Buckley has got tremendous concentration. We're talking a little bit about concentration tonight, but Buckley has been given that job in the past as a tagger, and he's got Scott McIver. We've only seen McIver a couple of times due to the good work of Buckley, but he let him get away on that occasion.
Cameron O'Brien coming off. David O'Keefe on as we see McIver towards the pocket, and another good mark taken by Paul Bryce.
Bryce gets the hand pass away. Both sides making plenty of changes. O'Keefe comes back out onto the ground. North Melbourne well and truly out of trouble through Pickering. His kick goes down towards centre wing, however. This is going to open it up for Richardson now. Mike Richardson going right across the ground. His target is Kennedy. Kennedy under pressure gets a left foot kick, and it's a good one too, finding Eade just outside 50. Eade will be forced onto the left foot, runs his full distance. Great looking kick by Eade, celebrating his 250th as goal.
Well, memories go way back to a final. It was 1976 or 78 grand final, and Rodney Eade was playing on the wing as a youngster on that day. On that particular day, he kicked a right foot goal as Stan Ells was chasing him. Stan Ells twinged his hamstring, and Rocket went on and kicked a great goal in the second quarter of that particular game. And it's good to see him still there. He's got a little bit of a problem with his legs, but he's still got a little bit of speed. Good to see him kick a goal.
8 individual players have kicked goals for the Brisbane Bears to date as Richardson tries to get it out of the middle, goes wider to Gastev. The Bears go forward through Gastev up towards McIver. O'Keefe does the shepherding work in towards Williams. In front of him, however, is John Law. And it is Law who sees it safely over the boundary line for another throw.
Well, there's Cameron O'Brien and Steve Reynoldsson. I think he injured himself in that first quarter and called for the trainers. You can't see him on picture there. He's behind Cameron O'Brien. But there's Bryce working hard over to Swass. Swass cleverly tries to tap it around. This will be a great contest, Don, between Mark Williams on screen there and John Law, because they're both not over quick, but plenty of courage.
Yes, that's exactly right. And Williams has got the roving job across that half-forward line. And if John Law is suspect, it could be in the pace department.
Well, here's John McCarthy trying to crash his way through the pack. There's Law. A quick kick was smothered off the boot. Scott McIver towards half-forward, punched away by Jamie Stevenson. Oh, Richardson put himself in and received the free kick. Good play by Mike Richardson, but he's hurt. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if he looks for a short one here if the lead is on. No one making a lead to the space. And it's a pretty crowded Bears forward line. Plenty of North Melbourne players getting back. Richardson wants the short one. No one moving. And now he sets it up towards full forward. Over the back. A kick off the ground. Hardy. A free kick in the meantime. And he's going to play 50 metres as well, umpire Saws. Hardy didn't realise. Bit tough that, because I don't think Hardy realised.
Tough, Peter.
Well, Hardy, I don't think realised it was a free. Oh, he might have. Who knows?
Couldn't have, Peter. Anyway.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
That's why this game is so great. It's a matter of interpretation.
Wayne Swass towards centre wing, or centre of the ground. Hepburn, further afield to McRae. They need goals and they need them quickly. North Melbourne, there's David Bain over to Rains, whose kicking is an absolute delight. Merritt's off. Caught. That's nearly holding the ball. Very lucky free kick. Very lucky free kick to Merritt. Merritt goes to Williams, and Williams takes a strong mark, 45 metres to 50 metres out from goal. Mark Williams has kicked one after brilliant play in that first quarter by Merritt. The distance a doubt, I would think, from 55. As he sets it up right up to the goal square. The high flyers are there over the back of the pack and through for a behind to the Bears. They move on to 8-6. North Melbourne 3-3.
Don, if you're in John Kennedy's shoes, what would you be doing now? What can you do?
Well, I just think these guys have got to man up. I think they've got an inherent problem. That is the skill, Sandy. They're surrendering the ball just a little too easily. Stevenson's
kicked back into play. A chance for Hepburn if he can get it across to Cracker. He does, but Cracker couldn't take it. So now Hardy a chance. He goes steaming through. Got boot to ball, but miscued under pressure and over the line.
And also, I think I'll be saying at half-time to two of those fellows, they've just got to put their body in and take the risk. The Bears are doing it, and they've got numbers around the ball. North Melbourne are running second.
And they lead by 33 points at this stage of proceedings as German runs out of the half-back flank. Kicks up towards centre wing. Rains spoils well from behind. Micken does good shepherding work. Bain through to Rains is effective. Onto McIver. Or sets up Brendan Phillips. Couldn't take it. Now a chance for McRae to steady the ship for North Melbourne. Kicks long up towards half forward. Spoilt well by Lester Smith, but it's all North Melbourne as Clarkson gives it to Romero. His high kick goes down towards full forward. Bryce is there, almost shivered it out of it. Clarkson back pedals, gets one back to Bryce. He's under plenty of pressure, but he gets it away to Romero. Romero onto the left foot, shoots in towards goal and puts through a much-needed goal.
Well, when a side is down, they always seem to struggle for their goals, and North Melbourne looked as if they had the opportunity on a number of occasions in that build-up there. They worked at it, they struggled, they finally got it through Romero, the little rover, who has been struggling a little bit of recent because of the wet, heavy grounds in Melbourne. But this being a dry ground, he should be able to excel and run quickly across the top of it. Mick Kennedy on screen with Romero. An interesting battle between those two earlier in this game.
The Bears lead by 4-3. North Melbourne creeping back. Centre of the ground. North Melbourne normally got plenty of heart. They keep coming at you, so the Bears wouldn't want to relax. Johnny Gastev has had a fine season for the Bears. Out wide to Kennedy, to Richardson. And they look good tonight, the Brisbane Bears, as Richardson comes to the half-forward line. Over the back, Brenton Phillips. Good shepherding by Mark Williams. Sets it up for Merritt. Can't take the mark, but dives on top of it. Over to Bernie Harris. A quick kick at the goals has missed. So the North Melbourne supporters breathe a sigh of relief. John Kennedy, a worried man, as you can see. 8-7 plays 4-3. So the job ahead of North Melbourne.
And just under 14 minutes remaining in this second quarter. Buckley in the back pocket, wanting to play on to German.
Oh, no.
Almost surrounded, but okay. He gets it across to Cracker, but Cracker was claimed, not before he got rid of the football. German has followed it down. Almost good interception. Larkin may get North out of trouble. Away from Bain he goes. Gets the hand pass across to McCarthy. McCarthy sets sail with a long kick up towards full forward. Lester Smith went for the punch, missed, and it was taken over the line for 1. So 4-4. North Melbourne, Brisbane 8-7.
Good game, Sandy.
Very good game of football. Great conditions. And John Kennedy,
of a Saturday night, isn't it?
pretty vocal. It's great. I hope wherever you're watching it, you're enjoying it. At the moment, we're looking at Gastev, looking for Merritt and finding it. Across half forward. Rogers' left foot kick. Williams picks it up now. Recovers well after not taking it initially on the half volley. Pulls it round to Hardy. And Brad Hardy will have a shot just inside 50.
Well, that is the difference between the two sides at the moment. When the Bears do get a break on their opponent, they deliver the ball so well. And there's Williams. Probably not one of the most skillful fellows in the side, but he's still found Hardy with his left foot.
Hardy's shot is to the right.
Gee, he's got a kicking problem, hasn't he?
Well, he's either real hot or real cold.
Well, that's one
night,
goal,
I think he
3.
kicked 9 goals straight one night, didn't he?
Well, he kicked 1-3 last week, and now he's kicked 1-3 for this game.
Yes, and one particular night, I think it was at the MCG in a night game, he kicked 9 straight, as we see Martin flying from behind. Good play by McRae over to Peter German. He's looking for a hand pass for someone to come past. It's Buckley. Back to McRae. McRae was going to give a hand pass, then goes for home with a long kick. They need someone to take a mark. Crocker at the back. Zanotti to Richardson. Good defensive play by the Bears. They're doing well up that end of the ground. Out wide to Mark Roberts. Good to see him back in the side. 2 bounces. Elects to kick instead of bouncing again. Kick straight down the centre of the ground. Punched away by O'Keefe. Over to Mark Williams. This is Michael Gibson from 50 metres. Setting it up for Hardy, who waits at the back. He's got it. And it's another one to the Bears to Brad Hardy.
Well, you can't criticise the North Melbourne man on that occasion. Criticism could come from further down the ground because they're not being picked up. They ran past that pack very, very easily. But then Brad Hardy caught behind now. Where are the North Melbourne players there? John Law, not about. Where's Wayne Swass? Not about, as he lets Michael Gibson go in towards goal. And Hardy caught behind on that occasion. But nonetheless, he had a little bit of luck with Liam Pickering in front.
So the Bears moved to 9-8, leading North Melbourne 4-4, and the Roos looking to make a change. They've got Ross Smith on the boundary line as we go back into the middle with Mark Micken getting a left foot kick taken by Buckley, however, who with strength gets clear. Kicks over the centre, but Gastev is once again the stumbling block.
And Jason Love looks like he's going back. He is going back to pick up Brad Hardy.
50 metres.
And Liam Pickering will probably go up the ground or may come off with Ross Smith coming on. And also Cameron O'Brien warming up for the Bears on the boundary.
So Gastev is now on the attacking side of centre. Goes long, up towards half-forward. Merritt couldn't quite take the mark, but he was a flyer and he's going to pay it.
Well, he's made a lot of changes. John Kennedy's got Fairley down, as we saw Fairley there behind Merritt. He started up on the forward line, a centre-half forward.
I think Pickering's coming off, and Ross Smith. Well, would you ever have Ross Smith off the ground? Honestly?
Well, he didn't play well last week. He was given the run around by Whitman as the Bears go short into centre-half forward, and
he's off. This is Micken, forced onto the left boot, shoots in towards full forward. And the mark taken right on the last line of defence by Hepburn. We're lucky to have him there. Clarkson flew high on that occasion. Couldn't take the mark. There is no mark there, or is there, Don Scott?
I cannot understand when you take a mark in that line there, unless you've got men, by themselves, go short 40 metres. Those guys can kick the ball at least 60 metres, get it out of the danger zone. They've mucked up twice there, North Melbourne.
Here's the bounce. Martin, a hurried kick down towards the centre. 3 Bears there. Gastev is one, McIver is another. The two combined. Gastev almost got into strife. Gets it back to Phillips. The hand pass was at his feet. It was difficult, And this allows North Melbourne through Jason Love to kick it high. Out of trouble, up towards half-forward. Crocker at the back, plays on, and here's a chance for McCarthy. Shoots it towards goal and has missed.
That is disgraceful.
That is a shocking effort. Then he could have run it into goal. He could have a 2-on-1 situation and drawn Zanotti, which would have left Bryce all by himself, and yet he pinged it goal. That's shocking play. The Bears have made a change. O'Keefe's gone off the ground. O'Brien on. I can't understand that move because it was just a replacement before. They replaced one another
earlier.
earlier.
He injured his wing earlier, Don, as the kick comes out towards the half-back line, punched away by Mark Roberts. And I'll tell you what, the Bears look absolutely ferocious tonight. Their desire has been enormous to get to that ball first, and they're kicking around the ground. Their skill factor has been terrific. Well, there's David O'Keefe on the bench, 9-8 to 4-5, and that is indicative of how well the Bears have played. There's Mark Micken, Scott McIver, round the boundary line. Oh, it's clash going on here, strong play. Here's Mark Williams. Oh, running at him was Michael Martin. How would you like that? Here's Fairley, who's now on the back line. He kicks in the pressure, makes him make an error, puts it out of bounds on the full. Brenton Phillips has gone short. Good play, looking for Rains. Over the back. Hand pass comes to Mark Williams, who's good on the left foot towards the pocket, and they're throwing themselves at the ball, these Bears players.
The signs are not good for North Melbourne, are they?
Ominous.
I'm glad you said it, Sandy.
Don hasn't heard of that word, I don't think. 9-8.
Can't pronounce it, that's the problem.
9-8 to 4-5. The Bears doing well. It's at half forward for the Bears. Good play, Rodney Eade, but the umpire pinged him for pushing Peter German in the back. In fact, I think I said 9-8. It is 9-9. The scoreboard attended a little bit slow here at Carrara. 9-9 plays 4-5.
German towards centre wing. The mark taken by Law. Law and Williams having a good duel. He kicks up towards Romero, who's got Love running past. Jason Love kicks it high, a floating punt kick in towards the forward zone. Richardson waits at the back, too slow to get his kick, but was he pushed? The umpire said yes, and Mike Richardson will take it at half back. So the Bears' defence at this stage holding up well. Delightful kick to Gastev.
See, North Melbourne are loose on that forward line.
Goes wider to Kennedy. Michael Kennedy down towards O'Brien, back out onto the ground. Could have kicked it out on the full, he has.
And it's good to see Michael Kennedy doing well, because the Bears contemplated dropping him off the list at the start of the year, and just by some fate they tried him in the back pocket in the reserves, and he really has clicked and is doing well in the seniors now.
Stevenson short on centre wing. McCarthy the target. Not successfully located, and a throw in.
Well, as Sandy said, on centre wing, 9-9 to 4-5. 6 3/4 minutes of play left in the second quarter. It's been a great exhibition by the Bears. Right from the first bounce, they've been ferocious for that ball. There's Mark Micken, a poor kick. Straight to Peter German. Over to Fairley. Fairley to half forward, some wrestling going on. The Bears' defence has been outstanding. Gastev, Lester Smith, all of them up there have done well. Good, strong tackle was on Gastev.
And actually, Lester Smith should have been pinged then. He tried to shepherd. It was a very rough shepherd. He stuck his hand out to grab the opponent when he didn't have the ball.
Well, there's Bernie Harris being picked up by Ben Buckley, who's a very hard man to play on. Now, there's Lester Smith over to Gastev, who's getting plenty of touches. Gastev to centre wing. Johnny Law in the centre of the pack. Oh, strong play by Bernie Harris. Taps it on. Mark Williams. John Law, a great performance. Over to Eade for Mark Williams. Wide goes Eade. That is top play to Merritt. And it's an open goal if Roger Merritt kicks it now. There's no one down there. Roger Merritt from 50 metres. Can he make the distance? It's a low trajectory drop punt right up to the square and off the hands of players and through for another behind, but Merritt playing well, and so are the Bears. 9-10, 64 to North Melbourne 4-5, 29.
Brad Hardy's wanting to use his body the whole time, pushing opponents out, being caught behind on that last line of defence for North Melbourne.
Fairly at half back. Gastev and Love. Love doing the holding on. McIver clear to Rains. Right in the centre. Oh, his vision was perfect. Merritt outside 50 this time though. Kicks in towards the half-forward line. Martin is at the back of the pack. Quickly gets boot to ball and finds German, who floats it wide. Buckley out towards centre wing. North want goals, and they want them badly as Love goes across to Romero. A sweeping hand pass sits nicely in the end for Darren Crocker, who skips away from Lester Smith. Centres the ball, only to see Kennedy burst his way through. Go onto the left foot and find Mark Micken. North are making a change. Micken has the luxury of a bounce. Onto the left foot, he kicks it long, up towards half-forward. Merritt couldn't complete the mark. Taken off hands by O'Brien. Getting back his Phillips, and he has marked.
Very slow Fairley getting to that mark, Don.
Yes, the North Melbourne have made a change with Liam Pickering coming on, picking up Bernie Harris. Ben Buckley going off as we see that mark running with the flight of the ball. That's Brenton Phillips. And the Bears, as we've said a number of times early in this game, have just got numbers around the ball, and that's a sign of a team playing with a lot of confidence. North Melbourne really struggling.
So Phillips looking for his second goal. He's a right footer. Drop punt looks good.
And Brenton Phillips, who came off interchange, his second goal. In actual fact, he only had kicked one goal for the season up until this stage. And here it is, Cameron O'Brien, who has come on replacing David O'Keefe, sends a high ball. Nobody at home, but running with the flight. Brenton Phillips, 3 goals for the season, having started the season well. Form has dropped off, but doing well now.
The Bears lead by 41 points, and we have 3.5 minutes of play left before half-time. Paul Feltham would be a very, very happy man after their dismal effort against the Swans in Sydney last week. They have really bounced back tonight. They're playing top football, particularly in defence, running that ball down the ground, using it well, whereas North Melbourne, their skill factor has been very, very ordinary indeed. There's Bernie Harris towards half. What a great mark to Cameron O'Brien. An unattended goal square if he kicks it quickly, but he's electing to go back now.
I can't understand why he was taken off the ground earlier. Cameron O'Brien, he can do the unexpected.
I agree. There's another change. Clarkson coming off and Buckley on for North. Now, Cameron O'Brien is one man who might be able to kick it from this distance. He is a long kick. Look at that drop punt. It's close. Merritt at the back. Yes!
Did he infringe that?
A good mark. He went early. Did he get into the back? That's the question mark. The umpire didn't think so. That's the important thing. And Merritt will kick from
Watch this one on replay. Oh, perhaps he didn't, Peter.
No, I think you have to play that one now. He's a pretty acute angle, but he's playing a great game. He was outstanding last week in Sydney in a losing side. He and Reynolson were great. And he's going on with it again tonight, Roger Merritt. Great camera shot of this one. At the angle, he'll probably run out to the right a bit. He kicks and slams it through for another one to the Bears.
Well, from that position, it was an easy shot for goal. You really couldn't miss from that distance and that angle. And it's good to see Roger Merritt rewarded on the scoreboard with a goal because he set up 2 previous goals. One a ripper earlier to Mark Williams, and then he got one across to Bernie Harris, a handball. And now he's starting to figure himself. I questioned the mark initially, but on replay, I suppose you would deem it a mark. Really didn't get off the ground, just better judgment. North Melbourne bringing plenty of changes off interchange.
The Roos shell-shocked as they trail by 47 points, and it's Rains brilliantly out of the centre once again for the Bears, down towards the half-forward line. No mark is taken, however, and it is Law who brings it back towards centre wing. McIver eyes for the football only, has it now, gets it across to Bain, who wobbles it forward towards Eade. Could be a free kick for a push. Who'll take it? It'll go back to David Bain. Will he look for Merritt, or will he make it more direct? He goes a little more directly, straight to O'Brien.
Well, that's a shocking effort by Jamie Stevenson. To allow him to mark uncontested like that is unforgivable.
Well, we mentioned earlier, Peter, that Jamie Stevenson is just a little too slow. It was evident early in the second quarter, and he's been caught behind again. He's just not quick enough over the ground to get to an opponent.
Oh, that's...
I mean, you should start in front, really, if you're a backman.
Here's the shot at goal as North make another change. The kick looks a good one. There's another one of the Bears.
Gee, I can't keep up with these moves that North Melbourne are making off interchange. Andrew Pecker's going off.
It's an absolute joke. And to think that, honestly, to think that John Longmire, who's probably their best defender, is sitting on the bench all of this quarter, it's got me beat. He has hardly had a goal kicked against him all year, as we see O'Brien kicking that one through for goal. I can't believe some of these moves.
Well, the margin is now 53 points. 12-10 to 4-5. Here's another change. Stevenson is coming off, and as Peter McKenna suggested, coming back onto the ground is Longmire as we go back into the centre once again. It's all Bears at the moment as Micken wins it down. Harris a chance to tap on. He's too slow to get his kick. It was a good tackle, however, by Fairley, who picks it up, kicks up towards the centre of the ground. Pickering is there, gets the hand pass away to German. German gets it across to Larkin. The Roos desperately want goals. His kick goes up towards full forward, and the mark is taken. So now an opportunity for Hepburn to score, to say the least, a much-needed goal.
That John Longmire is one of the most promising defenders in league football, and to leave him, as we see that mark by Hepburn, to leave him on the bench for a quarter and a half is
But he has been struggling, Peter. He started the season well, but since he broke his foot, he has been struggling.
Hepburn shoots towards goal and has broken the drought for the Roos.
Gee, it's a much-needed goal, but it wasn't it interesting if we reflect back on that goal, how it came about. And it came about because Matthew Larkin had the ball, and Larkin is a very skilled player who can deliver the ball well. And he did on that occasion, set it up for Hepburn, who was playing at full forward, started in the ruck. And North Melbourne just not quite as skilled as what their opponents are when they do get the ball. Larkin is a class player. We know when he gets a ball, he always knows where the opposition is, sums the situation up, delivers the ball properly.
North trail by 7-5. Can they come back? Well, they usually show plenty of character. All sides, coached by John Kennedy, do. There's the Clarkson going wide. 14 seconds of play left. Can they get one before half-time and be handy? This is Clarkson up towards full forward, over the back of the pack. Here's a chance for Jason Love. Tries to tap it on. Kicked away by Zanotti to centre of the ground. There's the siren to end a great first half of football here at Carrara by the Brisbane Bears. At half-time, they lead North Melbourne 12-10-82 to North 5-5-35.
And in that quarter, Peter, the Bears added 5 goals, 6. North Melbourne added 3 goals too. So the Bears certainly extending their quarter-time lead. And, well, now North Melbourne's going to have to virtually do what Fitzroy did earlier in the day.
Well, the Brisbane Bears, full marks to them. They've been absolutely ferocious right from the start of the first bounce. They've had great players. Their backline's been superb. Lester Smith, Zanotti, Mick Kennedy, Rains, Reynoldsson went off. Gastev's been a top player. And up the forward line, of course, they've had good players. Williams is putting in Hardy. Roger Merritt is setting a fine example of the rest of the side. Richardson's been chipping in. They just haven't had a weak link, whereas North Melbourne's skill factor's been down. I think some of their positional moves have been absolutely terrible, and players playing out of position. But a great first half at North. They normally come back. They've got a long way to come back, though, Sandy.
They certainly have. Just repeating the score at half-time. The Bears 12-10-82 lead North Melbourne 5-5-35. We'll take a break. I hope you've got your Tats Lotto tickets ready, because it's time for Tats Lotto and Super 6, and then we'll be back here at Carrara. It's half-time here at Carrara, and if you've just joined us, then have a look at the scoreboard. The Brisbane Bears playing superb football, lead 12-10-82. North shell shock. They are 5-5-35, so the Roos have the job ahead of them in the second half if they are to keep their faint finals hopes alive. Well, the month of July is behind us, but it certainly was an action-packed month as far as football was concerned. Let's now have a look at some of the great moments in football in the month of July.
So let's begin with the Madden brothers as Justin gives Simon an armchair ride. Melbourne's Brian Wilson proved once again just how versatile he can be with this award-winning acting performance. While teammate Steve O'Dwyer's new method of contesting ruck duels still leaves a little to be desired. To the best tackle of July, and Geelong Terrier Andrew Buse grabs Lion Graham Osborne in a bear-like hug that would do Hulk Hogan proud. Not to mention this Rick Kennedy coat hanger, perfectly executed on Magpie Craig Kelly. Hawthorn's Peter Schwab obviously didn't take too kindly to the treatment he received from Tiger Tony Free. And spare a thought for this Sydney trainer because he just couldn't outrun the bouncing ball. Somehow I get the feeling that David Murphy was just a little frustrated. To the freakish goal of July, and St Kilda's Mick Dwyer gathers the ball deep in the forward line and under enormous pressure from North's Alistair Clarkson, kicks from right on the boundary line and scores a near impossible goal. And then there was the saga of Long and his shorts. July saw the VFL once again experiment with a controversial 3-goal umpire system. Carlton's Steve DeRuy was the tough man of July, firstly by shirt-fronting bomber Terry Danaher, and secondly by laying demon skipper Greg Healy out to rest. To the high flyers of July, and Jeff Aiken leap for miles proved that he can soar like an eagle. July's second best mark was taken by Geelong high flyer Bruce Lidner over a hapless Graham Osborne. But the best mark of July was taken by Fitzroy champion Alistair Lynch, who soared high over the pack at the MCG. St Kilda wizard Nicky Winmar was the most considerate player of July. Here he offers veteran Simon Madden a chance to rest his ageing legs. But I don't need to rest, says Simon. However, Winmar was determined to offer Madden a seat on the ground. But as usual, the bomber comedian has the last laugh, this time by kissing the wizard smack on the lips. Simon, I wonder what Mary'd think of that. And on the subject of kissing, Murray Romance Rance and Dermot Brereton obviously have more in common than just sharing the same Guernsey number. I wonder if Adrian Barrich is jealous. Ah, what a month it was.
And that was the month of July as we saw it on and off the field, and well, there's plenty of action on the field here at Carrara at the moment, and I'm glad it's this gentleman passing the lights with his parachute and not me, but there is a perfect landing, 10 out of 10. Great crowd here tonight, a carnival atmosphere here at Carrara. No doubt many of the hometown crowd absolutely delighted with the scoreline at the moment, which sees the Brisbane Bears leading by 47 points over North Melbourne. We'll take a break and return shortly.
Former Carlton ruckman Peter Percy Jones was involved in a number of odd incidents on the field during his VFL playing days. Most football followers will at some time or other have seen this historic piece of videotape showing Percy attempting to play on in the goal square, missing the ball and kicking the post. But I wonder how many fans have heard his blunder during the famous VFL fog in a match in 1971. The third quarter had just commenced when a pea super swept over the Junction Oval during the match between Fitzroy and Carlton. Percy Jones' big blunder occurred following a Fitzroy behind. Carlton fullback Jeff Southby kicked out into the dense fog. Players from both sides heard the thud of the kick and waited for the ball to land. Eagle-eyed Percy was first to see the football appear and in his excitement shouted out, "There it is," alerting a faster Fitzroy opponent who sped to the ball, picked it up, took off into the fog towards the goal where he kicked truly. Fitzroy went on to win the match. Percy incurred the wrath of his captain, John Nichols, who bluntly told the big man to keep his mouth shut for the remainder of the day. Peter Percy Jones, one of the great characters of VFL football.
Yes, and dear old Percy probably couldn't even see Big Nick in the fog when he was talking to him. Well, there's some great moments in football and some great moments coming up shortly on the Australian Television Network as far as football is concerned, because it is going to be the presentation of the Brownlow Medals retrospective. Some of the great names of the past at last are going to be honoured, and that is coming your way on the Australian Television Network next Friday night, so check your local guides for details. But let's go back to Michael Roberts once again and meet one of those players.
If ever a young man was going to play for a VFL team, it was Alan Hopkins of Footscray. He was born and bred in Bulldog territory, and his father, Con, was the curator of the Western Oval for many years. When he started his career in 1923, Footscray was part of the VFA. He continued on to 1934, ticking over 151 games and kicking 203 goals. Because of his bow-legged stance, he earned the nickname Banana Legs, but this didn't stop him performing magic in the centre. He captained Footscray in 1929, was appointed captain coach in 1930, won the Scraggers Best and Fairest Award in 1931, represented Victoria in carnival teams, and topped the club's goal kicking on 2 occasions. To add to this impressive list is the close shaves in the coveted Brownlow medal. The Little Dynamo was runner-up in 1929, tied the award in 1930 with Stan Judkins of Richmond and Magpie Harry Collier with 4 votes, then followed with another second in 1931. He'll be presented with a retrospective Brownlow medal at a special dinner at Melbourne's Southern Cross Hotel on Friday, August 11th. This will be seen live and exclusive on the Australian Television Network.
And I certainly hope you can join us for that telecast, as Michael said, next Friday night here on 7. We'll take a break and be back shortly, but as we go, let's leave you with this footy fact. North Melbourne have kicked some high scores against the Brisbane Bears. In round 14 of 1987, the Roos established the trend, kicking 23-13 at Carrara, a score which they equalled at the MCG in round 13 the following year. This year, North booted a new record score against the Bears. That was in round 9, 25-15, a total of 165. I don't think they'll do that tonight. So the third quarter, the vital third quarter, is underway. Micken gets the first kick of the term down towards half forward for the Bears. It's taken by Williams, picked up beautifully by David Bain. From 60 metres, he shoots in towards full forward, but the mark taken on the last line of defence. And North Melbourne have certainly made plenty of changes. Ross Smith was the player who took the mark. It's the kick that goes out wide in front of Jose Romero, and a throw in. So here we are in the opening minute of the third quarter, and Brisbane lead, but there has been no further addition to the score. Jeff Rains sees it go over the line. So a very important quarter, this third quarter for North Melbourne. Changes, Don Scott.
Yes, a number. McCarthy now at full forward for North Melbourne. We see also Hepburn at centre half forward. Longmire went to centre half back just before half time, and Fairley now at fullback. They're the main ones.
Longmire did the ruck work on that particular occasion. There's a good mark taken by Buckley. Gets it across to Law, who was just about caught napping, but he's able to get the hand pass away. Bryce and Crocker both fly. Neither could take it. It comes to Lester Smith now. He tries to give it back again to Gibson, who gave it to him in the first place. Gibson kicks it high up towards the half-forward line. Good mark taken at the back, however, by Buckley once again. On he goes to Matthew Larkin. The North defence knitting together at the moment, but is it going to work? McRae gives it across to Bryce. Gets away from Micken. Bryce kicks long up towards the half-forward line. North have got to get the first couple of goals in this quarter, and that, Peter McKenna, could start a run.
Well, that's certainly, and here's a chance too, as we see Jason Love setting sail for goal. He kicks, hits the post. So I think Jason Love, he ended up on the back line in that second quarter. He must play deep in that forward pocket, because he is a great goal kicker, Jason Love.
Well, he's the only one who really kicks goals. He's the leading goal kicker in this particular side, although Mark Arcieri's not playing. Arcieri's kicked 24 goals for the season. Love has kicked 20, but he does still play behind, Peter. He's an opportunist, but he's got to apply himself just a little more.
Let's go down to the boundary line now, and here once again is Bill McDonald.
Sandy, a quick message from half-time from North Melbourne dressing room. The main message there, man up in defence, as we've been talking about for most of the match, and use the ball, try and kick it long. Expect a lot of reshuffling this quarter. They're trying to find a combination up forward. From the Bears dressing room, Stephen Reynoldsson taking no further part in the match. He's done a hamstring.
Well, that's bad luck to Steve Reynoldsson. A great game last week against the Swans, but the Bears doing well. Richardson out the centre wing to Gibson. Good play over to Mark Roberts. Roberts from 60 metres kicks it long. Beautifully kicked. Oh, he picked out Roger Merritt, who had ducked back. There's Andrew Taylor, who's out with suspension at the moment, but Merritt's been a great player.
I wonder why Ian Fairley went up the ground when Mark Roberts had the ball and Merritt dropped back. Now, I can't understand that.
Well, doesn't know how to play the position. That's what I'd say. There's Merritt. I think Longmire should be at full-back. That's his rightful position. And here's Merritt from directly in front. Kicks it goal and puts it through.
Well, his second goal, Roger Merritt, for the night. And the Bears seem to do it as they wish at the moment. And I just can't understand why Ian Fairley. There it is, the ball coming out. Now, Mark Roberts will have it set up for him. Gibson quickly across to Roberts. Now, down the field, there's Fairley way out in front. Gee, he gave him a lot of latitude. He was 10 yards in front, shoulder to shoulder. That's the position to start.
Back in the middle once again, and the Bears continue this rampage. 13-10, plays 5-6. Roger Merritt has 2 goals and Brendan Phillips 2 with Cameron O'Brien. For the Bears, Larkin almost tackled high, gets a short kick but straight onto the chest of Richardson, who gives it to Rodney Eade, who will be loving this. Celebrating his 250th. Thumped on by Gibson down towards half forward, but taken by Law to repel it. Micken will come over the side with a left fist and hammer it down. German Buckley it was who got it quickly away. Now Larkin onto Bryce. North trying desperately to go forward, but having great difficulty as it goes deep in towards the forward line. Gastev went over the top. Love will try and soccer off the ground. Can't take it. The ball's still in the pocket. No one able to pick it up. And it eventually is taken over the line by Michael Kennedy, holding his head.
Deliberate.
But the whistle has sounded. It was deliberate, said Rowan Saws. Mike Kennedy can't believe it. And so Jason Love gets a shot at goal. Swings round now, shoots in towards goal and has missed. Well, they've had one poster in this quarter, and that one, not the start they wanted. 5-7, plays 13-10.
Well,
They're handling the ball too much around the centre, Peter. Handball, you know, we saw it the way they brought it down into the forward line on that occasion. When a one kick would be suffice, they try and set it up and put it on a plate for someone further down the ground. It's not the way to do it.
Well, Paul Bryce was clear. Oh, that's a good mark to Mark Roberts at half-back, a diving mark, and they're playing on plenty of confidence tonight. They really have played well, the Bears. And let's not take anything away from them. Michael Richardson for half-forward. Good desperate play by Longmire to punch it out of bounds, but Don, you're right on the ball with that overuse of the handball. Paul Bryce could have kicked it to the goal square. Let's talk about the Bears' great performance. There's O'Brien coming over the top. McCarthy to Clarkson. Clarkson onto the left foot, should head for home here. That's a nice kick, setting it up for his forwards. That was Bryce not being able to take the mark. Michael Kennedy has done some marvellous things in defence tonight. Over to Rains. It's an ordinary kick by Jeff Rains off the side of the boot. Punched away by Mackay, but a hand pass from McRae to Longmire to Clarkson. Back to McRae, and Dean McRae sets sail for home with a long kick. There's 2-on-1 down there. Good, strong defence by the Bears. That punch away allows Michael Richardson to kick it wide. Rodney Eade against Peter German. Now let's see what Eade can do. He picks it up on the left. Kicks it wide. David Bain leads in the race, and the ball bounces back into play for him. Oh, good skills by Bain. Former Sandover medalist, of course, David Bain. He brings it towards half forward. At the back is Longmire. Good defensive play. Ramiro in for North. He's got it. Caught. And the umpire said held to him. He could have been holding the ball, and Jeff Rains thought so.
What did you think, Don?
Yes, I'll agree with Peter, and maybe Jeff Rains too. But then again, as we say, the umpire is always there. We have not much influence in decisions.
McIver is clear on the defensive side of centre. In fact, had time to find David Bain, who then goes on to Rains, just outside 50. Rains is a lovely kicker of the football. A long kick in towards full forward. At the back is Hardy. If he can keep it in play, he may get a shot. He's ridden into the ground. Play on is the call. Close to the boundary line. And the umpire decides that he will have it.
Maybe Jeff Rains a little bit hungry for goal then, because he had Mark Williams between him and the goal square by himself, but a hand pass it over. It would have been a lay-down misère score.
There's the bounce. Hardy close to the line and over. So a throw in the Bears' right forward pocket. (13-10). plays 5-7. The Bears wanting a win and percentage to get off the bottom of the ladder. The way things are going at the moment, they'll get both. As Harris swings round, it hits the behind post on the full, so a little bit of a respite for North Melbourne.
North Melbourne been right off the boil in recent weeks. Really have lost all form, as we see in Ian Fairley coming to the half-back line. Michael Martin's even had a quiet night tonight. But no wonder when he lined up in the centre of the ground or on the wing. And he's played great football all year in defence for North at centre half-back and full-back. There's Cameron O'Brien. I wonder if he'll turn into a really top player. Ton of ability, as Don Scott said earlier. The big fist away comes to David Bain. Mark Roberts, 60 metres out, sets it up for Merritt again. Merritt has it punched away. Mark Williams. Oh, good play by Williams. Handball's back to Merritt. Over to Hardy, an open goal. That's great play by the Bears. It's another one.
Well, you really can't do much when a team's playing the way they are at the moment. You see there, they're full of enthusiasm. They've gone across and congratulated everybody. And the way they're combining, it is just terrific stuff. There's Williams spinning, quickly across to Merritt. Merritt again, across to Hardy. And Brad Hardy, he does like a goal, and that's his third.
The Brisbane Bears roll continues. 14-10, plays 5-7.
They're just playing with too much confidence, Sandy. I mean, the way they are combining now, and they're getting underneath the packs when the ball's coming high and punched down. They're the ones underneath. They're running with the ball, the flight of the ball, getting under packs. They're just everywhere. They're blitzing North Melbourne and will continue to do so, I think.
3 goals to Brad Hardy, who was off target early. McIver. It's all one-way traffic at the moment as they go down towards the half-forward line. Harris did it well, used the body nicely, then flicks it back in towards full forward. Oh, what a mark from behind, taken by Merritt.
Confidence.
Oh, and North Melbourne are just, they had McCarthy going for the ruck knockout on that occasion. And here it is, the big mark from Merritt. Gee, they can do no wrong at the moment, the Bears.
Merritt has kicked 2 goals, 1 in the second and 1 so far.
They just look a completely different side.
This for number 3. No mistake, straight through the middle.
I mean, what can you say about North Melbourne? I've seen them on 2 or 3 occasions this year in important games when they had the chance to get into the 5. They've got the chance tonight to at least stay in contact, and what do? They squander their opportunity again. And they're doing it again. They're a funny side, North Melbourne. Whether they lack ability, I don't know. I just don't know what the problem is there, but they should respond to a challenge, and they really haven't this year. Now McCarthy's gone to the centre half forward position. It looks like Hepburn's taken over in the ruck.
Centre bounce once again. Can North start something? McCarthy taps it over the back, but straight to Richardson. He pumps it over the centre once again. Phillips uses the body, can't take it. Williams at the back if he can get clear. Mark Williams is clear. Onto the running Bain. Bain sets sail for goal and has just pushed it across the face. Hardy trying to take it off the pack. Does so now. Gives it across to Bernie Harris. Tucked in the boundary line. They can do no wrong. They can do no wrong.
Oh, Merritt against Martin. How'd you like that for a dust-up?
Couple of fiery characters, but the experienced Roger Merritt is winning out at the moment.
And John Law having a dirty night tonight. He was the one who overran the ball back on the edge of the square. And Mark Williams swooped on it from that mistake. It's finished up with Roger Merritt.
Been a big game by Merritt.
Oh, listen, he worked really hard initially, Sandy. Now he's starting to capitalise on the scoreboard.
So this for number 4.
He's had a great couple of weeks, Merritt.
20 metres out. Pretty tight angle. But he's on the right side. He shoots and he goes.
Well, his 3rd goal for the session. And that's a similar goal to the one he kicked in the 2nd quarter. From that distance, you really can't miss. In that angle, you really can't miss being a right footer. And playing deep in that forward pocket. Here's Bain setting it up, the high ball. Well, they get involved again. There's Hardy. He'll shoot it out quickly to Harris, and Harris left then right, and then goes back onto the left and tumbles it in again. So they're in front, the Bears. They can just do no wrong.
Well, this is developing into an absolute trouncing of North Melbourne. Who would have expected this? Everyone thought it would be tight. 16-10 the Bears. North Melbourne on 5-7, and it's just a one-horse race at the moment. North Melbourne playing without any confidence whatsoever. John Law battling hard. Caught! At half-back for North Melbourne. Let's see what they can do. Oh, Jeff Rains takes it away with ease. Fires a goal across the face slightly and puts it through for a behind. But there's Paul Cronin, and is he a happy man? I think he's called for a double scotch there. Look at that grin. Wow. I haven't seen a smile on the face of Paul Cronin like that for a long time. Punched away by Micken. John Law. Michael Martin. Longmire. Centre of the ground. That's the way to play it. Straight down the centre. Punched away by Jason Love. Michael Richardson. Can't pick it up. Gastev, who's been a fine player this year for the Brisbane Bears, and he's rewarded with a free kick for that tackle. No attempt to get rid of it by the North Melbourne player there in McRae. Centre wing, Mark Roberts added a bit of life back into that Bears side also. Here's a youngster in Pickering. Now he's dumped after the handball. That is the notebook coming out on Michael Gibson.
Well, Michael Gibson, I mentioned earlier, he fixed up Swaz earlier, but then he started to concentrate just a little bit too much on the man. And he's just got to keep his eye on the ball. When the opportunity presents itself, take advantage, but don't do it all the time.
Hepburn to Ramiro. Ramiro to half forward. A chance for North Melbourne. Oh, too good the Bears in defence. Michael Kennedy's been very impressive. A one-on-one situation. Buckley against Bernie Harris. Ben Buckley, good play. Been one of North Melbourne's better players tonight. As he taps it to the line, Bernie Harris looks back in expectancy for a free kick there for deliberate, but no chance of that, Sandy. But top performance this by the Bears.
107 plays 37 with Wayne Schwass on the outer side, and still with him on the outer side.
Well, 137 points is the highest the Bears have kicked against North Melbourne. They're going to blitz that tonight.
From the throw-in, Martin round onto the right foot. High to half forward, the bounce. Who's it going to favour? Lester Smith gets one fist, then has another go. Kennedy comes away onto the left foot. He's got Richardson in the centre, or McIver. The pair will probably combine. They do. Richardson, fleet of foot, is away. Up towards the half-forward line. That's his target, Hardy, who got it away to Harris. In towards full forward. Here they come again. McIver.
It's becoming monotonous. The Bears doing as they wish.
I don't think Paul Cronin would agree that it's becoming monotonous.
I think
they're just doing it so easy. Look at the way McIver running down, more or less unchecked. An easy overhead mark. Although he's had 20-odd possessions, Scott McIver, not one of his better nights.
Well, if he hadn't have marked it, Merritt would have. That's good play by the Bears.
McIver looking for his first goal. In comes the long left footer. He's put through another one up here. He has.
And Scott McIver's first for the night. And Scott McIver, as I said, is having a quiet night. Although he does lead the VFL possession getters, he's had 423 possessions coming into this game. More handballs than anyone else in the league. 186 handballs. He's a great runner.
Well, what about this? The Brisbane Bears lead by 76 points. It's a long time since we've seen this happen with the Bears. There's Clarkson getting across to German, to Swass, who's been quiet. Larkin. Over to Michael Martin, who tries his heart out. Long kick by Martin, and a great goal.
That was a little bit better, wasn't it, Peter? The fact that they didn't handle the ball as much as what they have been previously when going forward. They got the ball, ran it out towards the 50-metre line, and Martin it was who pinged it. There's the one handball, now a kick. That's ideal football, a handball, a kick, maybe two handballs at the most.
Can you understand why he started on the wing
But listen, he's been moved everywhere today. He started in the centre, the wing. He was half forward at one stage.
You will
tagging.
not commit yourself.
You didn't answer the question, Don.
I know, I have answered it.
Well, there's David O'Keefe about to come back on. This is a top performance by the Bears. Here they come again. Scotty McIver towards Hardy. Let's see what he can do here. Oh, good play by Hardy. Clever use of the body to Bain. The loose ball comes back to Hardy, who skillfully gets back onto the left. Over to McIver. A clever little chip pass finds Mark Williams, who's worked hard all night. Now he's right out on the boundary line. 17-11 to 6-7. North Melbourne. I thought they would fight hard tonight, seeing they had a rough chance for the finals. The short passes on to Hardy, and they're doing it on the bit at the moment.
David O'Keefe coming back on again. I mean, if you're injured, you stay off the ground, don't you?
Well, I suppose he wants to be part of this action, I think. Brad Hardy, 7 kicks. 3 goals, and a very dangerous forward pocket player. I think anyone would kick goals up there tonight, the way that ball's been coming down to that Bears forward line. I think Warwick Capper would love to be out there tonight. As we see Hardy from the pocket, he's a beautiful kick normally, but again across the face. Is that another mark to Merritt? Off he goes. I think it might have been over the line when he took that mark. Yes, it was. And a wry grin to Rowan Saws from Roger Merritt. I think he's enjoying this night, Sandy.
Phillips off and O'Keefe on for the Brisbane Bears. There's Brendan Phillips. There's a monster kick.
That was a big kick.
Monster kick to McCarthy, almost down to the centre of the ground. McCarthy up towards half forward. Can North answer once again? A good mark by Crocker in front of Lester Smith. Well, a lot of North players have been desperately quiet tonight. Kennedy comes in from the back. Larkin is there also.
Don, why did he kick it out there?
I was just going to say the same thing.
Why would he kick it there?
They're trying to play possession football. That can be the only explanation. There was a little bit of movement out there, but why go out there?
He's kicked to the half-forward flank when he could have kicked to the goal square.
Micken with the left hand, but taken by German. Keeps it in play only as far as Richardson. Tucked in the back pocket is Mike Richardson. Short to Jeff Rains. Wider up towards the half-back line, and the mark taken by Mark Roberts. Has done well. Goes towards Gibson. Also there is Romero and Love. Socket forward to O'Keefe, who's just come onto the ground. Solidly met by Martin, and the ball spills clear and goes over the line.
Solidly met by Martin. How often do we say that?
I couldn't quite understand that song.
Hi, Auntie,
somebody.
From the throw-in. Martin again. Towards Romero. Couldn't take it. Love has it across to Clarkson. His hand pass was meant for McRae. Put him under plenty of pressure. Oh, he's well tackled. Has lost it. Great tackle by Gasted.
He's done well since he's gone back into the back line. You remember Gasted kicked 7 goals in his early game with the Bears, maybe his first game. He's lost a lot of form, but now since going into the back pocket and back flank's done very well.
To Micken at centre wing. We've still got just under 8 minutes of this third quarter remaining. As Micken kicks up towards half forward, John Law comes over the top and fists it over the line.
Well, I suppose we must remember the 2 crackers are out and Marcus Siri, but boy, they wouldn't make that difference.
Pete, do you think it makes any difference? They came up on the plane, which didn't arrive here till fairly late, and they've been sitting on the plane for an hour and a half and getting somewhat lethargic. Then you've got to psych up for a game. This will be another goal to the Bears. Roger Merritt says, thank you very much. Bang, through it goes. 5 goals to Roger Merritt, and gone 4 of those in this quarter.
He took the words right out of my mouth, as Meatloaf said, Sandy. 4 goals, what a sensational quarter he's had. And here it is again set up, and look, this is an easy goal, isn't it? Over the head of everybody concerned, open goal. He's playing behind, just can do no wrong. Playing behind, and still you finish up with the ball.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind North Melbourne coming up and arriving here about 4 o'clock this afternoon would not help at all in your preparation for this game, as we see Rodney Eade towards half forward. Merritt crashed his way through the pack again. Here's Mark Williams crashing in through as well. Michael Richardson on the left has gone short to Hardy. Good thinking by Hardy to just settle down, might have made a mistake rushing.
Gee, John Law's in agony too, but he's typical captain. Look how he's got up. He was collected there by Merritt. Geez, a tough competitor, and he's in a lot of trouble out there, John Law.
One of the toughest players that have played the game in the last 10 years, in my opinion, John Law. Well, there's Brad Hardy going for goal number 4 from 15 metres. Kicks, and it's another one.
His 4th, Brad Hardy. 4 goals, 4 tonight. Let's see if John Law, yes, he is coming off, and if he does come off, it is bad. That's a pity for John. He was just caught at the wrong place, and here it is on replay. Just about to take the mark, but coming at 1,000,000 miles an hour from behind. Roger Merritt, and he fixed him right up.
Merritt's been ferocious.
Not ferocious in the aggressive sense. He has been going for the ball, Peter, and it just so happened that somebody's been in the road. Now, Stevenson's coming back on. And listen, if John Law goes off, he will not be coming back on.
No, very tough man.
So more troubles for North Melbourne. And look at that scoreboard. The Bears 19-12, 126. North Melbourne 6-7. 7 goals to 1 so far in this quarter as it's Eade getting the handball across to Richardson. Another one to Kennedy. The Bears forward again, out in front of Bain, chasing his Swass. Bain takes the good mark. Swass makes sure he goes nowhere fast.
Well, Wayne Swass seems to have lost all form too.
He's a state player, but struggling now.
Oh, down the ground, free kick.
And frustration creeping in.
John Law's shoulder being examined by the doctor.
And Hardy marking in the forward pocket. Yes, we'll keep an eye on that because Bill McDonald's down there. So we'll have a report on that shortly. Now, Brad Hardy has kicked 4, 2 so far in this quarter. He and Merritt are having a field day now down in that forward line. To date, they've kicked 9 between them. Hardy runs round, makes a bit of room, kicks a high drop punt. It will land just about in the square. Fairly hammers it over the line defensively for one behind. Let's go down to Bill McDonald. Any news, Bill?
Well, Sandy's got a fairly heavy knock on the shoulder there, obviously, and it's a bruised shoulder, they think. No real damage at the moment. It's still in the hands of the doctors there, but they think it's a bruised shoulder, and he will come back on later in the match.
Tell you what, it'd have to be pretty badly bruised for him to even leave the ground. Yep, he's a very great player. Buckley onto German. The Roos trying desperately to mount something.
Here they go again.
McRae will lose it.
He handballed it to him.
Overrun by McIver. Crocker in all sorts of trouble with Harris doing the tackling. Eade at the bottom of the pack. Schwass comes over the top. But they're playing in front and they're getting the nod from the umpire.
And a crude tackle.
As Rodney Eade high to the half-forward line. Down in front, Stevenson.
I can't believe it. Look at the handball. He'll handball again too.
German now, 1 bounce. He's almost inside 50. 2 and he is. He'll have a shot at goal. North need one so badly, and at last he gets one.
Yes, I suppose. They always prove you wrong. I thought they handballed a bit too much on the way down, but it was German with no opposition the other way, hosting North Melbourne's 6th or 7th goal. And here it is, 1 bounce. I thought the way he'd been playing, he might have handballed it across to Love. And there's Peter German, North Melbourne's 7th.
The Bears lead by a margin of 78 points. Look at that, 19-13 to 7-7, and this is a hiding. Top football by the Bears. Gibson to half forward. Here's Wayne Swass with a chance from the centre of the ground. He's gone wide. He's found Pickering. Oh, bad hand pass. Oh, lucks of fortune. Martin was covered, should have been tackled. Long kick by Michael Martin to full forward, punched away by Gastev out wide. That's great defensive play. Lester Smith is there, and he forces the ball over the line.
If there is a criticism, we've seen Michael Martin on a number of occasions get the ball, and he doesn't deliver it well down the ground. That was another classic example. It doesn't help the forwards. when you get a ball delivered in that way.
Penny for your thoughts, John Kennedy.
Oh, you wouldn't know what to say. There's Rains getting it across to McIver, over to Mark Roberts. They have not had a weak link. Michael Richardson. Oh, Mark Roberts, a little clever tap on. They can't do a thing wrong. Lester Smith, Mark Williams, and everything they do is turning out top-class football. Over the back is Hardy, but chipping across the front of the pack is Ben Buckley to take a good mark.
Just under 3 minutes of this third quarter remaining. Crocker on centre wing. Now to half forward. And there were 4 Bears players there. Mark Roberts decided to take it. They're playing with it as he gives it to Lester Smith, who kicks over the centre. Not quite taken on the half volley by O'Keefe, but it doesn't matter. Backup support comes from Gibson. High towards Hardy with the one hand, couldn't take it. McCarthy will bounce his way out. May go wide to Romero. Will he hand pass? He does. To Larkin. Then to Romero, who will run into trouble. And that is the story of the night for North Melbourne. Kennedy, the hand pass into centre half forward, and Mark Williams gets clear, goes with a high kick in towards full forward. Hardy again, Merritt off hands, shoots in towards goal and goes right across the face. In fact, still kept in play as Buckley and Harris are close to the line. Eventually taken out, but deliberately. And so a free kick will go the way of the Brisbane Bears and Harris.
A little bit harsh, I think, that one. Bernie Harris talked the umpire into it, I think.
I don't think I've seen you so frustrated for a long time, Don.
I can't believe it, Sandy. I just cannot believe what some of these North Melbourne players are doing.
Harris now. Shooting for goal. Going across the face and just drifting in for one behind. Well, it looks as though North are about to make another change. They've got Cracker on the sidelines. It's Andrew Cracker as the Bears move to 19-14. A mammoth score for them.
John Longmire went for the big torpedo, didn't come off. Oh, Pickering tackled as he went to kick it. Gets a hand pass to German, over to Larkin. Oh, an ordinary kick towards half forward. That's Bryce. Oh, he was nearly caught Schwass. Here's Ramiro. Back to Schwass. Oh, another skill error by North Melbourne. There have been plenty of them tonight. Now, is that holding the ball?
That's exactly right, Peter. A skill error. They just can't deliver the ball properly. You saw it up there. Schwass had to jump with one hand and then just couldn't recover in time.
Well, there's Andrew Cracker. A little bit unfortunate to be taken off. I thought he was one of North's better players.
Well, I thought he got underneath the pack on quite a few occasions. He mightn't have got the kicks, but certainly he was quick with his hands.
Half forward for North Melbourne. That Bears defence has been magnificent tonight. There's Rains. His 250th league game. Jeff Rains and Rodney Eade. And what great players, Don, they've been for a long time.
David O'Keefe looks as if he's recovered from that bad shoulder injury. And Jose Ramiro coming off. Andrew Cracker going on. We'll try and pick up where he goes. Ramiro was playing on the wing.
Bryce to Pickering to Larkin. Larkin on the left foot from 45 metres, trying to swing it back in. Can't do so.
Gee, he had Jason Love in the centre there making position. He only had the centre of the ball then, Matthew Larkin.
19-14 to 7-8 as the siren sounds to end the third quarter. A great exhibition of football this by the Brisbane Bears. There's the hero, Roger Merritt. 19-14, 128 the Brisbane Bears here at Carrara. Lead North Melbourne 7-8, a total of 50.
Three-quarter time here at Brisbane. And look at the Brisbane Bears are doing. 19-14, they kicked 7 goals 4 in that quarter here at Carrara and restricted North to 2 goals 3. 19-14 to 7-8.
Today's game is part of the Carlton and United Breweries 1989 Premiership season.
And at this stage of proceedings, let's have a look at some of the up-and-coming events on the Australian television network. Tomorrow morning, kick off the day with 3 hours of Sports World from 9 o'clock. And then some network stations will see all the action from round 16 of the Hungry Jacks National Basketball League. Also tomorrow, the West Coast Eagles take on Richmond at the Subiaco Oval, and Footscray battle Essendon. And it's motorsport at its best with the final round of the AMSCAR series from Sydney's Amaroo Park. But don't forget, check your local TV guide for coverage details in your state. So, the Bears have broken up. Don Scott, are they going to continue on their merry way, or is North going to show some pride for the jumper?
Well, I suppose they will show some pride by at least fighting it out, but I just can't see them making very much of an indentation on this score, because the North are playing just with, well, just too much confidence. As we go down to Bill McDonald with a report from the boundary.
Thank you, Don. Well, to say that John Kennedy was pretty disappointed with the players at three-quarter time is an understatement. He's asked them to man up all over the field and just follow their player, no matter where they go, all over the field, man up and see the match out. Brisbane Bears, as you'd expect, they've got them by the throat now, and that's the message. Just keep on going through with it, and a percentage-boosting win to get them off the bottom of the ladder.
Thank you, Bill. Peter McKenna, how long is it since you've seen a North side perform like this?
Well, North have been in poor form in recent weeks, Sandy, but I haven't seen a North side make so many skill errors in many, many years. And there's the match stats. Well, look at that. Look at the kicks. How often do you see that, Don? 200 to 125. Handballs will in favour of North Melbourne. Most of them have been shockers. Marks 71 to 40. That's a lack of marking power of the North Melbourne
Melbourne
side.
don't take too many marks. They average, I think, about 60, if my memory serves me correctly, a game, Peter.
Well, Paul Feltham would be a pretty happy man. He's a former North Melbourne player himself. There he is. He's had a couple of wins since taking over as coach of the Brisbane Bears. Has been under a lot of pressure during the week and from the press. And I think this would be a real fillip for him, Don.
Yes, well, then again, Peter, I suppose, who could say that Peter Knights mightn't have had the same success, because they did expect to beat St Kilda here a couple of weeks ago, and they're always a danger up here.
So here we go, just about set for a start in the final quarter. North Melbourne have kicked only 7 goals for the night, so they've got to try and do something here.
We'll see what changes they've made. Sandy casting the eye around. Looks like Bryce now at centre half forward. Stevenson at full forward. Longmire at full back. Smith in the back pocket.
It would have been interesting, Don, to count the changes and the use of the interchange by North Melbourne tonight.
I lost track in the second quarter.
Unbelievable.
Just worked overtime. John Law still on interchange. I don't think John will be coming back on because of the shoulder.
Well, as far as percentage is concerned at the moment, the Bears trail the Eagles, who play tomorrow, by some 8.5%. This will certainly go a long way to making that up. So, siren is away for the final quarter here at Carrara. Hepburn in ruck, up against Micken. Who can win it out of the middle? It will be Mark Micken with a left foot high kick towards Mark Williams, but he is beaten with this ball on this occasion by Buckley. Buckley gets it away to McCarthy. North go long, up towards half forward. Kennedy tries to spoil. Comes to Larkin from Clarkson, onto German. A little chip in towards full forward. No mark is taken, however, and the Bears are quick to pounce on that ball. It comes out the back door, close to the boundary line, and is eventually taken over. So a throw-in to take place in North Melbourne's right forward pocket.
Look at the team spirit there as they got over to Johnny Gastev. 3 of them to tap him on the head. He's playing top-class football. Look, manning up there on Jason Love as ball is at halfback, punched away by Hepburn. Gibson's played a very strong game tonight. Over to Mark Zanotti. He loves a run. 2 bounces with the left hand. Sprints to the half-back line, Zanotti. He's looking for O'Keefe. O'Keefe against Martin. And good play by O'Keefe. Michael Martin chased hard, though. And
it should be a relayed free.
He chased a little bit too hard and got into the back of O'Keefe. Didn't pull up. It'll be a relayed free to Mark Williams. Now the leader's on. Merritt up in front, tries to tap it on. There's Dean McRae, caught. Good tackling by Cameron O'Brien. There's a loose ball coming to John Longmire, straight up in the air, travelled about 10 metres. No one can take the mark. Hardy waits at the base of the pack. Kicked off the ground, back towards Ian Fairley, who's had a quiet night. Off the side of the boot. Oh, courage! What a courageous mark. Now, is that Buckley?
Yeah, now listen, Ben Buckley is a
50
very
metres.
courageous player. I've watched him tonight. He's backed into packs. On that occasion, he kept his eye on the ball, running with the flight of the ball. This man is a very, very courageous player. He took a mark earlier, backing into the pack. Look at him keeping the eye on the ball. Oh, you've ever been in that position?
Well, they say if you keep your eye on the ball, you don't get hurt. That's a chance where he did, but oh, look at that. As the ball's brought up towards half forward for North. Here's Stevenson with an open goal. As the ball is relayed and just offline.
And he's been taken off, which is unfortunate, Peter, because he has been one fellow who has tried.
I think he's been their best player, Ben Buckley. There's
John Law's coming on.
Well, he's not fit, John Law, so that won't help. 19-14 to 7-9. Here's Bernie Harris streaking out of defence towards the half-back line. Oh, they're doing it on the bit at the moment. Here he is again, still going on with it, Bernie Harris. Long kick towards half-forward. David O'Keefe, and Martin punches it over the line, and David O'Keefe thinks it should have been his free kick.
So the ball on the outer side. 19-14 plays 7-9, and
in the hip,
Ben Buckley.
Or kidney area, they hurt.
Doesn't look too good, but we'll keep an eye on it. Beautifully down to Mark Williams, who kicks up towards half forward. Merritt having to do the work from behind. Oh, but he just traps it back towards Hardy. Done delightfully. Has Hardy got someone going past? He has in Eade, who flicks it in towards full forward. Can't pull it back quite enough, and one behind is the result. 19-15 plays 7-9. Still Buckley in the hands of the medical experts. It was Law, who said came back onto the ground to replace him, was the one to get the hand pass away. Schwass is wide. He's been pretty quiet tonight. Wayne Schwass gets his kick up towards half forward, and the mark taken by Paul Bryce. Tries to go long, but it slews off the side of the boot. They all leave it, but it breaks and goes through for one behind.
Just absolutely no idea of forward play, North Melbourne. When Bryce had that kick, not one forward made a lead to an open space, Don.
Well, they're not a confident side, are they, Peter? We've said that all night, and I mean, as the game goes on, with the score being such what it is, they've got no confidence, and confidence comes from when you start to lead, and you lead when you have confidence.
Lester Smith finds Gastev at half-back flank. He's been a fine player. Well, they haven't had a weak link, really. Mark Roberts, centre of the ground. John Law couldn't take that mark. He's Wayne Schwass. Good pass. Larkin, well, it was over his head. Here's Paul Bryce from half-forward flank, swinging onto the left foot. Now he'll kick it up high because no one was moving again. Here's a chance for little Andrew Cracker off the pack. Beautiful kick, and he splits the centre. Good goal.
Well, I perhaps might have left that little fellow on because I was impressed with him in the second quarter. I thought he got underneath. He set it up once there, and he does possess that Cracker magic. And here he is, the high ball. Watch him setting himself in front of the pack. The ball spills to ground. He's got quite a bit of toe initially off. He wouldn't run great pace over a number of yards, but initially he has got great toe, and he got away then. Good play from the little fellow.
Quick out of the blocks.
Yes, that's the word.
19-15 plays 8-10. We're back in the middle once again. Micken gets the tap, but who can take it out of the centre? Schwass runs into trouble.
Buckley does look all right, Sandy. He's jogging around the boundary line.
Tell you what, he'll feel it tomorrow, though, Don, when he cools down.
Still virtually in the middle. Yes, it's a pretty tentative jog. Schwass claimed. Pickering going very, very wide with the right boot. Gastev has done well. Puts the handball out in front And there's a little bit of a frustration in the centre of the ground between McIver and Schwash. That has been sorted out. And there's a free kick to Gastev on that outer side. Goes short to David Bain. Longer kick by Bain, almost down to half forward. A beautiful hand pass was shot out by Gibson. Williams goes in towards Merritt, picks it up beautifully on the half volley. Back to Williams, onto the left foot, shoots Mark Williams. There's another one, is it, for the Brisbane Bears?
Gee, I was looking at Ian Fairley trying to get ground, chasing Mark Williams. He looked like a Clydesdale trying to catch Williams on that occasion. Fairley just too slow, and they're just doing as they like. Merritt picks it up. Now, Williams was the one who initially gave it to Merritt. Now, he's not a quick player, Mark Williams, but gee whiz, Fairley made Williams look like a thoroughbred.
What's the record, Don, for the Brisbane Bears?
137 is their highest score against North Melbourne. The greatest winning margin is 33 points, so they blitzed that.
Well, they're only 2 points within the other one, so it could be a record-breaking night. And what a night for Messrs Rains and Eade to celebrate. The ball is at North Melbourne's half-forward line at the moment. Here's a chance for Matthew Larkin to goal, and his kick looks a pretty good one. Straight through the middle for the Roos.
Well, he doesn't make too many mistakes, Matthew, when he does get the ball. And he didn't on that occasion. That's his first goal. He kicked a point earlier in this quarter. But some people believe that Matthew needs a clip behind the ear to get himself involved in the game. And when he does do that, and there have been players like that in the past, who need just a little bit of a spur to get themselves going, or then going, and they seem to play better. And he may be one of them.
Well, that was a nice hand pass from Liam Pickering, the youngster, too. And John Kennedy didn't even look all that excited a moment back about that goal. I think he looks absolutely disgusted. But they have been playing poor football in recent weeks, North Melbourne. Well, centre bounce again. Let's see who gets it out. It's Peter German looking for McCarthy. Poor hand pass. Here's John Law battling hard, though he's got a very sore shoulder. Centre of the ground with Jeffrey Rains. Now let's have a look at his kicking. Now he's going wide because he's got a loose man. Poor checking on Bernie Harris. Is there another loose one? Yes, it's O'Keefe. A very poor effort this by North Melbourne. Now he's gone short with a little chip pass. That's a bad one because Cracker had covered Bain there. Good play, little Andrew Cracker. And he should never have been taken off the ground, in my opinion. He's playing very, very well early. But then again,
I wouldn't say very, very well. I thought he was a useful competitor.
He was battling hard, and he's only a youngster. They've got to be encouraged, those young blokes. Here's O'Keefe. Onto the left foot from 40 metres. David O'Keefe has missed. And I think, Sandy, we're going to see some great games up here at Carrara under lights. Conditions are perfect and big ground. Atmosphere is electric. And I know next year they've got 5 home games here at Carrara, and I think we're going to see some top football.
Well, if this is any indication, we can but agree. As Longmire goes to the outer side, a lovely kick once again, but an equally good mark taken by McIver. Well, the Bears are a point off equaling the record for their highest score. The checking by North is very, very loose. Micken marks and goes short again. Look at that.
They're very, very arrogant, aren't they? The way they're playing, the Bears. They're chipping it around. Men are left unattended. And the passes are only going 10 metres.
And Bernie Harris now to have a shot inside 50. Drop punt is a good-looking kick. And there it is. It's the record for the Bears.
And that was a good kick off the boot. As soon as Bernie Harris made contact, you could tell it was a good kick. He kicked through the ball, jumped into it, and it just did not deviate as it left his boot. Watch it here again on replay. A nice kick. It was a classical kick by the little fellow who has had a good night.
2 goals to Bernie Harris. Well, the Bears stream further in front. 21-16 to 9-10. Micken. Oh, Mark Williams brilliantly to Rains. Oh, that kick was intended for Merritt, but a good mark taken by Longmire, who judged that beautifully. And I think that's his rightful position, John. Longmire at full-back. Swass got into the back of the wall. Could have been a free kick against Swass. Then the umpire put the whistle to the mouth and then put it down.
Should have been a free kick, Peter.
Oh, no doubt. Centre wing. The ruck duels, Cameron O'Brien against Ian Fairley. So saw the punch straight to Richardson, onto Rains. Now, Rains towards the centre of the ground. Oh, the loose ball was Michael Kennedy. Gives away the free kick to Andrew Cracker. Just gets his boot to it. Travels about 2 metres. Kennedy a free kick. And he's been most impressive, Don, in that back pocket.
Well, he's a great improver, isn't he, Peter? As I mentioned earlier, he was going to be put off the Bears list. The 50 metres being paid against North Melbourne. So Michael Kennedy a little closer to goal.
A little closer?
Well, he's down to the 35 to 40 metre mark. Michael Kennedy, a chance to kick a goal. Let's have a look at it.
Well, he hasn't kicked a goal this year. He's only kicked one in his career, so this could be his second.
Well, there's the initial free kick. And Kennedy from directly in front. Back pocket players love to kick goals. Let's see what he can do. It's close. It's a goal.
Well, his first goal for the season, Michael Kennedy. His second in his career, having come down from Canberra as a rover half forward. He really did look all at sea at those positions. He played early games last year in those positions and really didn't know anything about it. The Bears contemplated getting rid of him at the start of the year, but by chance they just put him in the back pocket. He clicked in the reserves and he's gone on from strength to strength, and he's really playing well, aided by a 50-metre penalty on that occasion.
22-16 plays 9-10. We saw the grin on John Gastev. Then he was delighted his fellow backman kicked a goal, and no wonder, because they're really doing it easily at the moment, the Brisbane Bears.
They have had so far 11 players who have scored goals with just on 15 minutes remaining. McIver shrugs the tackle, kicks the Bears in towards half forward. Oh, Hardy, a clever little tap back to his teammate in Gibson. Gibson was looking for Harris, won't find him on this occasion. Law is there, drifts it back to the half back line. Martin couldn't quite hold it, having to back. O'Keefe at the bottom. Fairley is there, so too is Larkin. But the umpire decides that he will take charge of proceedings.
One good thing about North Melbourne, if there is a plus for their game tonight, not too many of their players, what I'm saying is that all of their players go back very hard for the ball, as Martin did on that occasion.
Over the top, Hardy at the back. This should be another one for Brad Hardy. He swings round, steady, shoots and goes.
Well, Brad Hardy, it's his 5th goal for the night. He's kicked 5 goals for, and he is the leading goal kicker for the Bears. It's his 39th goal. Will we see his 40th tonight? He is a little bit inaccurate on occasions, but then again, he was left all by himself, had plenty of time to get back onto his right foot and steer through his 5th.
And just a gentle little nudge helped on that occasion.
The margin is now 90 points.
Well, who would have expected this? North Melbourne came up on the flight with us, and it got here about 4 o'clock this afternoon. We thought at the time it was a strange preparation for the game, arriving here at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Most sides get here the day before.
Well, North Melbourne, earlier in the season, beat the Bears by 94 points.
Revenge is sweet.
Well, here's Cameron O'Brien towards half forward. Longmire up in front, goes the fist. Hand pass comes to Peter German. That was from Clarkson. Matthew Larkin across to Love. Jason Love towards half forward. Mark Roberts over the back, went for the mark. He's got the backup support of Michael Kennedy. Back to McIver. McIver wide to Kennedy. That's beautiful defensive play by the Bears. There's a loose man out in the wing. This is David Bain. Centres the ball to half forward. Can't take the mark. Longmire battling hard at fullback. Gets it to Larkin. Centre of the ground. Micken was held when he didn't have it. Here's Richardson. Bernie Harris. Scott McIver, two former Fitzroy players combining. Here's another former Fitzroy man in Gibson, trying to hook it back to the pocket. Hardy in front. Was that a free kick? The umpire didn't think so. The two umpires tonight, the experienced Rowan Saws and the youngster on that occasion, Ron Thompson, deliberating on that decision.
So a throw in the Bears' left forward pocket. Fairley does the ruck work, taken away by Hardy. Gives it across to Harris. He snaps at goal and he's kicked another one, has he? Yes!
Well, you wonder why they couldn't do it week after week, don't you, the Bears, when they're playing as they're playing tonight. And I suppose travel has got a lot to do with it. We see North Melbourne travelling up here tonight, not performing well. And the Bears, when they come to Melbourne, don't play all that well. And it's interesting when you look at other teams that do travel, especially in the United States. The basketball teams, if they travel on a travelling tour, they expect to win half the games on tour, but they expect to win all games at home. So maybe that's a problem that they've got to come to grips with now in this National League.
I think you're right. I think you're right, Don, but the Swans did all right in Melbourne against Collingwood.
Larkin to half forward. Gastev marks and will repel this attack. Had a busy night, John Gastev. Kicks to centre wing, Fairley.
Yeah, he's had a quiet night.
Gave plenty of thought to playing on, but now goes back, and again, kicks to half forward for North Melbourne. No one takes the mark. It falls to ground, and getting a decent old shove into the turf. And picking up a free kick will be McRae. The spark is certainly not in North at the moment. McRae goes long. Beautiful looking kick deep in towards full forward. And the mark, and a good one too, has been taken by Crocker.
They're hard to tell apart, Crocker and Bryce. It was Crocker on that occasion, taking a really good mark. They've got some good high marks down there. Bryce is always capable of taking a high mark, as is Crocker.
Point blank range. Crocker shoots. And has he just snuck it in? Just yes.
Well, Darren Crocker, in the reserves a few weeks ago, kicked 9 goals in his first game back after injury. And then, would you believe, went out injured and then made another, well, I think he kicked another 6 against St Kilda reserves. Went to training on Sunday morning, pulled a hamstring and was out for a number of weeks, but is an injury-prone player. That's his 6th goal, or his 7th goal for the season.
Well, you're a wealth of information, Don. You're just mentioning Crocker's life history. But, well, there's Mark McClure, happy man. Well, Paul Feltham, what a dream debut as a coach. There's the kick for North, coming right down towards half forward. It's tapped wide to Rodney Eade. To centre wing. Larkin. To Bryce. Bryce to half forward, and this is Peter German. He's battled hard all night, but they just had too many players down on form. Towards half forward, fisted away by that defence has been magnificent.
And
Kennedy.
John McCarthy off Peter, and Buckley coming back on.
Well, it's on centre wing, and it's been a fine effort this by the Brisbane Bears. McCarthy's had a quiet night, Don.
Well, he's not Robinson Crusoe, is he? As a lot of his teammates have.
Bryce up towards half forward, plenty of flyers. Cracker waits down. The lightning hand pass goes across to Larkin. Another one to Crocker. Thinks about shooting for goal, then gives it to German. He kicks in towards goal and puts it through.
Gee, they make hard work of it, don't they? But then again, when you're not playing well, you always seem to do that. And there's some lightning handballs from Cracker and Larkin. Finally finished up with Peter German. Peter German's 2nd goal. There it is. Crocker again. I think he could have had a shot, Darren Crocker, from that position. He wasn't all that far out for goal and was in a better position. But North Melbourne seem to be programmed to give off handballs as soon as they do get it. Maybe they should just steady and think, and they think of a kick on occasions instead of the handball.
So back in the middle once again. We've got just under 10 minutes remaining in this final term. Well, the Bears are certainly going to enjoy their presentation to Rodney Eade and Jeff Rains after this match. A presentation that is certainly well deserved. Here's Mike Richardson. Tackled high, but he got his kick out in front of Bain. Coming to meet him solidly was Law. Gives it across to his teammate in Liam Pickering, who goes high up towards half forward, fisted down beautifully to Rains. Rains has Phillips, but the hand pass was a little too high, and it lets Pickering in once again. Gives it back to Larkin. Larkin to Bryce, on to Law. Floating punt kick in towards full forward. Lester Smith used the body. He has support. It's Zanotti, and it's also Roberts. The latter comes to the half-back line, but only as far as Pickering. Liam Pickering centres it. All up. Waiting down, however, was Roberts. And he clears wide to the wing, giving O'Keefe a chance to run. Chasing is Martin. O'Keefe still in front. Support from Gastev. Oh, almost ran into trouble. Gets it back to O'Keefe, and he can have a bounce. Has one, thinks about a second, then centres it towards Mark Williams in the middle. Can't take it, however. Buckley, who's recovered from that nasty knock, gets the hand pass away. Here's an opportunity for Bryce on the end of it. It came from Pickering. Bryce pops it up for Cracker. Just inside 50. Cracker short to a congested half-forward line, but the mark has been taken by Stevenson.
He's got the skills of the Cracker brothers, these two older brothers, Don. And you're right, he plays like Jimmy, but kicks like Phil.
Stevenson now. 2 kicks, 1 mark, and a couple of handballs. So a quiet night for Jamie Stevenson, looking for his first goal. Good-looking kick off the boot, and he has put through his first goal.
Well, adding a little bit of respectability to the score. His first goal. In actual fact, North Melbourne have kicked 5 goals in this last quarter. 30-odd points, more than they've kicked all night. First quarter they kicked 31, or 15, 20 the next, and 15 again in the third. So it hasn't been a good night for the North Melbourne side.
Well, back to the centre. Micken, beaten for that one by Hepburn. Who's Wayne Schloss? Out of the centre, that's a better kick. A long one, punched away by Gastev. There's a little Cracker. Oh, has it punched away by his own teammate Bryce then. And Cracker would have grabbed it and done something with that, I think. Towards half-back the kick comes. This is David Bain. Oh, Cracker nearly got him, but good pace there by Bain. Towards half-forward, and John Law takes the mark over to Buckley. Both those men were hurt. And
he's gone backwards.
Come back on. That was Swass going backwards, but he had a loose man there in Clarkson. Over the top to Hepburn. Hepburn, a long driving drop punt, travels about 55 metres. No one can take the mark. Down the ground it goes. David Bain roves the packs beautifully. Off he goes, the little rover. And they really look good when they get that ball in the open spaces. That's about 4 bounces. Will he have another one? No. Hand pass to Kennedy. Kennedy to Richardson. Mike Richardson nearly unloaded as he kicked. Towards half forward, punched away by Fairley. Out wide, one-handed by Martin. He must have a damaged shoulder as well. O'Brien to Hardy. Hardy from 40 metres kicks. Is it another one? No. He hits the post, and that's his second poster of the night. He has kicked 5 goals, Brad Hardy.
Well, that was an unusual way for Michael Martin to go for that ball. He must be injured. Just looking at him, it looks as if he is hanging the left shoulder. So maybe he is injured.
Yes, he's damaged his shoulder for sure, Don.
Back into play once again. Pickering couldn't take it. Micken's kick partly smothered. Richardson gets the hand pass away to Brendan Phillips. Phillips wide, looking for Merritt. Roger Merritt had a tremendous third quarter in which he kicked 4 goals. He kicked 1 in the second, so he's looking for his 6th now.
Brendan Phillips has been on and off interchange, finding Roger Merritt deep in the left forward pocket.
With his 18th kick coming up.
Shouldn't be a difficult kick for goal, this.
And it is not. Straight through the middle.
He's had a good night. 4 goals in the third quarter. That's 6 for the night. He hasn't blotted his copybook by kicking any points. Also, he did give 2 away earlier. Magnificent pieces of play. And he's done well in the forward pocket, Roger Merritt. Started off in the ruck. And now Micken's starting to find some form in that position, which allows him in the forward pocket. He's doing well, Roger Merritt.
Well, the Bears continue to stream ahead, 25-17 to 12-10. And if they perform like this, they'll get some crowds here to Carrara. Brisbane people and Sydney people both like winners. And
it's important for the national competition, Peter.
Very
interstate sides do win.
Well, they can get themselves off the bottom, of course, providing the West Coast Eagles lose tomorrow to Richmond over there, which is doubtful. Now, a hand pass by Larkin. There's Richardson tapping the ball on. Micken caught, tries to get in the handball. McRae goes wide. This is Peter German. Back to Clarkson. Clarkson goes short. Cracker. Little Andrew Cracker, very skilled player, as he brings it across the half-forward line. Oh, the loose ball taken by Harris. Harris kicks it wide and heads for the boundary line and puts it over. And there's some happy supporters out there up near the fence. A great performance, though, Sandy, this by the Bears tonight. They've looked a top-class team.
Magnificent performance, and they started it off in the first quarter with a 7-goal blast, 5 in the third, another in the second, and another 7 in the third. The North have been playing catch-up football right from the opening bounce. It's down in their forward line at the moment as Harris takes a tumble on the boundary line. We'll see a throw-in take place. And a good crowd here tonight. Some starting to leave as Hepburn takes it from the throw-in, kicks it high, down towards full forward once again. Fisted clear. All Bears, however, back towards the centre. The bounce is not a good one for Fairley. John Law is still trying his heart out. He's a tremendously courageous player. Floats one up towards full forward. Out to the side. A chance for Swass. Caught. Gives it across to German. He's under pressure as well. Now McRae. A high kick, but he was pushed as he took the kick, and it goes out of bounds on the full.
Well, you can't say that the North Melbourne selectors haven't at least given players an opportunity. They've tried 39 players this year in the seniors. So through injury and players losing form, they're not frightened to give other fellows a go.
Hepburn over the top. Fisted clear. How many should they give a go next week?
Oh. They play Collingwood next week. A vital game.
Throw in again. Just over 3 minutes remaining. And a free kick out of that infringement.
A vital game for Collingwood anyway. Not so much North. I think they've blown their chances.
After tonight.
Well, they had a chance, didn't they, Peter? I mean, had they have won tonight, it would have been a real clinker next week.
There was Paul Feltham, a very, very happy man. With a disciplined side tonight, the Bears, the most impressive thing has been the one handball and the long kick down the centre of the ground, Don.
Well, that's the difference with the sides. We've seen North Melbourne get the ball, and their first thing is the handball, but then they've followed up with another, maybe another.
Well, it's at half forward for North. Swass, hurried kick towards the forward pocket. No free kick, and John Gastep quite happy to allow that ball to go over the line. There's Jamie Stevenson's had a quiet night. Just under 2.5 minutes of play left in this match.
2.5 minutes before North put out of their misery as Micken goes up with the left hand. Kick smothered. Stevenson couldn't take it. Neither could Love. And eventually wobbling through for one behind. Peter German, 12-11, plays 25-17 to the outer side. They just seem to find the loose player. Richardson on to Harris on centre wing. Calling for it further forward is O'Keefe. That's the direction he heads. Martin is 10 yards away from him. O'Keefe now has a look up forward, centres it. Merritt and Hardy the targets, but a good mark taken by Longmire. So John Longmire at half-back.
Gee, that's a good effort. He's only got one arm. See the way he juggled that then?
Martin.
Oh, they've got some damaged shoulders, North.
There's that left arm giving him real trouble. But they've just run out of players. Buckley took the mark then. He spent time receiving treatment. Down towards Stevenson. Kennedy and Cracker. Cracker really, under great pressure.
Well, they really haven't. I finally get it. They really haven't run out of players because McCarthy's sitting down there and he's, well, perfectly fit, isn't he?
Well, as far as John Kennedy's concerned,
he's not fit. That's right.
Well, that's interesting that he wouldn't take Martin off and put McCarthy on.
Throw in. Schwass comes in over the top. Buckley gets a kick right across the face of goal. Lester Smith can't take it on this occasion. The mark is taken by Jason Love.
And they've also got Ramiro down there on the bench who is fit, so it's a slap in the eye to both of those players.
I don't know whether it's all that sensible, though. Have a man with a damaged shoulder on.
Jason Love looking for his first goal. Pretty good looking kick off the boot. Just drifting across the face.
He hasn't kicked a goal tonight. That's his 4th point.
25-17, plays 12-12. Lester Smith again. It'll be the last time he'll have to kick out tonight. Goes to the half-back line. Good mark taken by McIver. Oh, he's got Kennedy up on centre wing. Mick Kennedy can run away. Has a look up towards Brendan Phillips. There it is. It's all over. And a big win for the Brisbane Bears. So a fine performance. The Bears winning 25-17 to North Melbourne 12-12, and Peter McKenna a record-breaking win, and what a win for Jeff Rains and Rodney Eade.
Well, you took the words out of my mouth. I was just about to say that. Two magnificent players over a long time of over 10 years of league football. There's John Gastev, Rodney Eade, Ron Lester Smith, Mark Richardson, and I could honestly say that Brisbane Bears side did not have a weak link all night. Right from the opening bounce, they ran it from the centre, they ran it from the back line. Their kicking to a man was perfection. They had some great workers up forward. Merritt with his big heart, working hard. Brad Hardy with his skill up forward. Mark Williams working under the packs. And really, that youngster in the back pocket, Mick Kennedy, I think is indicative of the spirit in that Bears side. Johnny Gastev playing well across the half-back line. It was a real team effort. There's David Bain and a happy Paul Feltham following him in. And he must be a delighted coach at the moment, because that is a top-class performance by the Bears. Not only did they thrash North Melbourne, who are a pretty good side, but they played top-class VFL football.
So as Eade and Rains get a standing ovation, we'll repeat the final score for you here at Carrara. The Bears 25-17. 167 thrashing North Melbourne 12-12 84.
Just repeating the final scores here at Carrara. Brisbane 25-17, 167. North Melbourne 12-12, 84. And Don, for those people, those North fans who've been out tonight and have just arrived home, they're possibly a little shell-shocked at having seen that scoreline. Could you explain what happened?
Yes, well, it was all North Melbourne for about 15 minutes, and that was the first quarter, and then the rest of the game was all Brisbane Bears, and, you know, North Melbourne just did not show anything tonight. Maybe a couple of individual efforts. I thought a lot of their players showed courage in the fact that they did carry injuries. Michael Martin, John Law, Buckley. I saw Bryce hobbling off, and that's about the only bright spot, but you've just got to talk about the Brisbane Bears. Well, where do you start? All of their players contributed at some stage of the game. Mark Micken started to come back into form. Mark Williams was good in the second and third quarter, died out a little bit. Brad Hardy was up there kicking goals. He was behind on a couple of occasions, but nevertheless still kicked goals. I thought Bernie Harris, and there's Ben Buckley going down, and gee, showed courage to come up back onto the ground. Bernie Harris, who has played his best games in recent weeks for the Bears, continued in the same way. I thought Roger Merritt, that was a four-quarter performance by Merritt. He set up goals in the first quarter and he ran at the ball aggressively, and he only had eyes to the ball and upset a couple of the North Melbourne fellows because he was so aggressive at the ball, but finished off with it on the scoreboard. He was recognised. Rodney Eade showed a little bit of life too. And Michael Kennedy was also impressive in the back pocket. Now, there's a fellow that's really been at the crossroads. He's got his opportunity in the back pocket, and he's running up the ground well, defending, and he's enthusiastic, and it's good to see. And also, Gastek was a good player up in the back line for the Bears as well. And it was just Bears all night. North Melbourne handled the ball too much. They were too much handball orientated, when on occasions they looked better when they had one handball and a kick, and these statistics will be completely all in favour of the Brisbane Bears. 253 kicks, that's quite an amazing thing. Extra fact, North Melbourne did have more handballs, so that's an interesting one too. We go down to the hit-outs in favour of the Brisbane Bears, but I thought they at least jumped up a little bit in the centre there, Hepburn and Bryce, when they did get the opportunity.
Often, Don, you'll find that when a side gets a great start that they will tend to relax for one quarter, but the minimum number of goals that the Bears kicked in any one quarter tonight was 5, and that was in the second.
Yes, Sandy, but they did relax in the last quarter, and we mentioned partway through that quarter that you know, North Melbourne thrashed them earlier in the season by 94 points, and they were up above that 94-point margin. I think they were 95 at one stage, and only finished with an 83-point margin. So they did relax because North Melbourne did have their best quarter in the last quarter, kicking 34 points. So you know, that was their best quarter, and maybe the Bears relaxed, but you can't expect a team to continue as they did. They just blitzed the opposition.
I've got an interesting interview for you now.
How do we?
Well, you're an avid follower of Fast Forward, aren't you? Pixie Ann Wheatley.
She's not on, is she?
Yes.
Oh, no.
I think she's going to be talking basketball with one of the champions of the sport, Andrew Gaze. Pixie?
And I just got back from the ball in the basket centre. That's the big building with the hoops and baskets and things. And there was lots of really tall men. And I spoke to Andrew Glazed, who's one of the tallest, about why he likes dribbling a lot. So anyway, Andrew, you're famous, you know, best remembered for having helped Seton Hall in America come from nowhere to somewhere, and for your Olympic basketing thingies, and it's sort of been like a Cinderella fairy tale story rise to fame, except that you're a boy. So anyway, Andrew, you're very light-skinned for a basketer. Is there a reason for that, or are you just wearing like a lot of makeup?
I'm really not too sure, no. I just think I am fairly light-skinned.
Just kind of pasty boy, right? So, Andrew, all the talk about you becoming a pro, but wouldn't it be better to stick to your basketing?
No, actually, a professional basketball I think they're referring to there.
Oh, right. I thought maybe you're spreading yourself a bit thin. Andrew, you've been really successful, and I guess the question that's on everyone's tip of their lips and tongues is being really tall good for a basketer?
Our advantage is being tall, especially on the basketball court.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't try it. Andrew, you know, with all those black guys and you were the only odd one out, and, you know, I mean, like, you would have spent a lot of time in the shower with them, you know. And I'd just like to know what they say about black guys. Is it true that it's like about their hair being really hard to wash? Is that true?
That's unbelievable, isn't it? Pixie Ann Wheatley speaking with Andrew Gaze. Pixie is, of course, part of Fast Forward, which you can see on the Australian television network
each and every Thursday night at 8:30. And well, I don't know what the NBL will think of that after Andrew getting the grill.
Come on here.
Well, let's go to saner things, although I wonder if they will be saner, because I'm sure there'll be plenty of merriment and happiness down in the Bears rooms after this record-breaking win tonight. Paul Feltham, well, 3 games, 2 wins and 1 loss. Bill McDonald, I guess he's a pretty happy man.
Thanks very much, Sandy. You wouldn't think so. He's not smiling at the moment, but he is very happy. He got the double tonight. His side, Morningside, also won the Winfield State Championship Grand Final. But, Paul, the Bears' performance tonight, you couldn't fault that, could you?
No, they did what they were asked to do. The players went out and, to their credit, they used the ball better tonight. I mean, that's something we've got to work on because our ball use is not that good. But they had a go. I mean, they put in, they took shepherds for each other, they laid tackles on for their teammate, they worked for each other, and that's what part of this game's all about.
You ran the ball well out of defence tonight. The forward line was functioning, and you're getting the ball out of the centre as well. What was the most pleasing aspect for you, do you think, of the game?
I was just pleased that everyone went out and put their head down and went on with the job. I mean, that's all I believe a coach can ever ask of his side. If you do that and they're having a go and you get beaten, well, then you can work on your method. But that was a pleasing thing to me.
Were you surprised at all North Melbourne's inability? Apparently, you see all over the ground. They just seem to be like shell-shocked most of the night.
I didn't think about it much. I was more concerned about our guys' work.
What was your message to the players before the game?
Well, I said to them that we had everyone in here, our administration and our support staff, and I said that, you know, if we're on the bottom, the whole club's on the bottom, and this is our club, and we've got to get it up.
Okay. Thanks, some good breathing space there for you now.
Well, it's a little bit, but we've got, 5 games to go, and 5 games to go, and we've got to perform well in those 5 games. I mean, as of now, tonight's over. You've got to get on with next week.
Okay, thanks, Paul. Let you celebrate.
Thanks, Bill.
Yes, a fine performance by the Brisbane Bears. Now, of course, what it does do is lift their percentage, in particular, out of the late 60s and up to 75.1. But bear in mind, the West Coast Eagles play tomorrow, and if they are successful over Richmond, then once again they will go back to the bottom. The second game tomorrow is between Footscray and Essendon, so more great football coming your way on the Australian Television Network. You're thinking of Pixie? While you do that, Don, we shall say good night.
This has been a 7 Sport presentation for the Australian Television Network.